Kevin, thank you. Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by Claude. Optimism hasn't boiled like this in Cincinnati since Desmond Ridder and Sauce Gardner went to the college football playoff. Now, Brendan Sorsby and the Bearcats control their destiny in the Big 12, winners of 6 in a row against Sawyer, Robertson, and Baylor, who have hit the soul-searching part of their season and arrive at a fork in the road. These are the 5 favorites to win the Big 12. Even after a loss last week for Texas Tech, they've got the best odds to win the conference. Then you've got BYU and Cincinnati, the 2 unbeatens in Big 12 play. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. Alongside the former All-American and NFL linebacker Kirk Morrison, I'm Mike Monaco. Don Davenport joins us in a moment. Cincinnati is tied atop the Big 12. Today faces a Baylor team that, quite frankly, has had a disappointing season. And you talk to players and coaches all week, and they say the clock is ticking, so we expect urgency today.
Yeah, the clock is ticking because it almost feels like today is an elimination game for Baylor. If they don't win today, that's 3 losses in the Big 12. You're out of the conference championship talk. They want to play complementary team football, offensively and defensively. The only problem is this Cincinnati team is on a roll, Mike.
Yeah, they sure are. And let's talk quarterbacks in this matchup. Nobody has more passing yards or passing touchdowns in the country than Sawyer Robertson. Nobody has more total touchdowns than Brendan Sorsby.
I think you have 2 quarterbacks today that no one's talking enough about in college football. We had so much hype about the mainstream quarterbacks. Well, these 2 guys, I think in Robertson and Sorsby, 2 guys that can really make a name for themselves today.
And they throw to 2 of the best tight ends in the country, both projected top 3-round picks.
Well, that's what today is all about. This could be tight end you. Yeah, I know Travis Kelce went here, but 2 outstanding tight ends, and Trigg and also Royer. Trigg, he is a matchup nightmare for Baylor. He's a security blanket for Robertson. Get him the football, he makes plays, run guys over. On the opposite side, Joe Royer comes in with 4 touchdowns on the season, but he is Mr. Everything. He blocks, he makes plays down the field. He's an exciting tight end, one that I think can play on Sundays.
Because of those 4 guys, there should be points aplenty today. Scott Satterfield takes the field at Nippert Stadium for the first time as a ranked team in 3 years right after this. You're watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. 6 straight wins for Scott Satterfield in Cincinnati, and the Bearcats head coach is with Dawn.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Coach, 6-1, already bowl eligible, but you told us this week this team still has a lot more to prove. What's your message to them in regards to that today?
Yeah, we got to go out and play a clean football game. Baylor's got an outstanding team. We got to play clean football, take care of the football, and then score a lot of points.
You talk about that outstanding team leads the country in passing. Their quarterback does. How do you slow him down?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different disguises on defense. We got to create some turnovers and rally to the football.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Don, so 6-1, 4-0 in the Big 12 for Cincinnati. Meantime, year 6 for Dave Aranda, 4-3. And like you said, 2-2 in the Big 12, coming off a loss at TCU by 6 points. Game really wasn't that close in the rivalry last week.
Yeah, a couple of lightning delays, just a really quirky game for Baylor. They're ready to come out here on the road, try to get a victory.
Baylor won the toss and deferred, so Cincinnati gets the opening kickoff, and Logan Wilson, the 7th-year senior corner, runs it to the outside and gets tripped up shy of the 20. Game 8 of the season for Baylor. Dave Aranda, your thoughts on the Bearcats?
Best team we've played. You look at the film, clearly the best team. Most complete team. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves.
Yeah, they're elite. 2nd in the country in yards per play, and Brendan Sorsby, you said it, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, should be respected that way.
Yeah, that one turnover came in game number 1. You mentioned we're all the way in game 8 for this football team. They protect it well, they run it well, they pass it well. This is an outstanding offense for Cincinnati.
Top 5 rushing attack in the country as well by yards per carry. But Sorsby to the air on a slant, can't connect with Cyrus Allen, the senior slot wide receiver, Texas A&M transfer, coming off 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Cyrus Allen was his favorite target last week. 3 touchdowns for Cyrus Allen, one running and 2 receiving touchdowns. But early on, this offense for Cincinnati, they get off to really fast starts. Incompletion on play number 1.
Again, Scott Satterfield's been telling us these last few weeks, this offense is as good as he's ever had throughout all his coaching stops. Evan Pryor is the 5th-year senior, a couple years here after beginning his career at Ohio State, bumped out by Devin Bobby against a Baylor defense that has really struggled this year.
Yeah, they've struggled, but look, 2 plays already. You're in what you hope is a 3rd down situation that you can put a little bit of pressure on Brendan Sorsby. But Sorsby's been at his best on 3rd down, being able to scan the defense. Let's see what Baylor dials up here on the first 3rd down of the day.
2nd year for Dave Aranda, taking over defensive play calling duties. On 3rd down and 6, they bring 3. Pryor with the pickup. This one floated downfield for Jeff Caldwell, who draws a flag. LeVar Thornton was the corner in coverage, and it looks like defensive pass interference.
Number 25, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic stop.
It was just a nice job by Jeff Caldwell, the route, and he just got the cornerback Thornton turned around. Just watch as the route goes up. Caldwell's looking one way, he turns back for the football, but that right hand's on the back of the jersey of Thornton Jr. That's an easy call for the official and a 1st down for Cincinnati.
Thornton at 6'3" has played a huge role the last couple weeks without Tevin Williams for Baylor. Tevin Williams last night was probable. Pre-game today, a game-time decision. He didn't look great in warm-ups. He might be their best corner. Sorsby across the middle. Cyrus Allen's got enough for a 1st down. Jacob Redding wrangles down Allen, but not before 11.
Nice job by Allen just getting behind the linebackers, and you get him in open space. We saw last week firsthand at Oklahoma State. He's got the ability with catch and run ability to make a 5-yard catch turn into a 55-yard touchdown.
And how fun is this for Brendan Sorsby with all these weapons? He has been elite this season. Pryor the give. And a great gain for Evan Pryor of 9, running behind a great offensive line.
And this is going to be something I'm going to look at throughout this game. The offensive line of Cincinnati. How much push can they get up front? Evan Pryor only goes 195, but he plays so much bigger behind this offensive line. They've been able to block well, only 2 sacks given up. This is an outstanding offensive line that gets Sorsby a ton of time.
Led by Gavin Gerhardt, the center in the middle. from plus territory quickly to the 6'5" Caldwell to move the sticks inside the 40 with a half dozen. Brendan Sorsby has so many weapons. He's from Denton, Texas. We showed you 6th in the country in QBR. Catch-all metric, of course, up to 100. He rates so favorably. We showed you only been sacked twice. We're talking with Joe Royer this week, his stud tight end. Joe Royer said to us, Sorsby should be top 10 for everyone in the Heisman, not just here locally.
He plays with such a quieted mind, Mike. Meaning that everything, the game just seems slow to him because he's been able to get through all his progressions and get the right guy.
Isaiah Johnson's their jet sweep guy, and he can be electric. Barrels inside the 25, 15 yards. Bobby tripped him up, and more weapons for Brendan Sorsby, who's in awesome company with that QBR metric across the country.
Yeah, he's in awesome metrics, and then you throw in a couple of little wrinkles there. Isaiah Johnson, well, that's his first touch on the season. I mean, in terms of a rushing attack. So you think about all these QBR leaders, right there we see Sorsby with 85.5, but his rushing game works out as well.
Sorsby checked down Evan Pryor, escaped momentarily out of the grasp of Marion Winston, the redshirt junior Oregon transfer.
Oh, man, what a job there. This is what I talk about with Sorsby. So the one thing is you see him scan the defense. He'll go through his progressions. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's not afraid to hold in there. And a lot of it's because of the offensive line, Mike. He's able to have the confidence to hold the football that long and hit the check down. That's a pass to Evan Pryor. Should have been a negative game, yet they get +1.
Sorsby was telling us the other day he's focused so much this year on taking care of the ball and just making his layups, as they put it here around Cincinnati. From the edge of the red zone, this is Evan Pryor pushing the pile to the 15. 6-yard pickup and 3rd down coming up.
And this is where Baylor's defense has to make a stand. So far, this opening drive for Cincinnati, this opening script has gone quite well. Now, you do have the penalty against Baylor that really set Cincinnati up, but this is a big down right here for this Baylor defense. If they want to have any success today, they've got to be able to get a stop here against the Cincinnati offense.
Yeah, Dave Aranda's been lamenting his defense. Said it's forced our offense to be almost perfect. Cincinnati great in the red zone. Tawee Walker, the big-bodied running back, falls forward with a 1st down. 218-pound, 5th-year senior who transferred in from Wisconsin.
Well, just watch this offensive line go to work. Just hat on hat, everybody just doing their job, making plays, and then you've got Walker who starts to the left but cuts it all the way back. That's a lot of trust in his offensive line, trying to find the right door. He took door number 3 backside, and that was enough for a 1st down.
Joe Cotton, a transfer at left tackle. Tarantayo, a transfer at right guard. 10th play of the drive. Sorsby keeps it. A lane, a cut, and he dives down just short. Mark him down at the 1. LeVar Thornton tripped him up.
Yeah, once you get inside the 10-yard line, it's Sorsby time. We saw it last week. It's a lot of that quarterback keeper. The quarterback comes alive in the red zone, especially inside the 10-yard line. Would be surprised if they run the same play.
They go up tempo. Walker, the running back. The give this time, and Walker goes barreling in. Touchdown, Bearcats.
I want you to watch these blocks up front, man. Gavin Gerhardt, he's the center, but just watch the push. Watch that side of the line of scrimmage. Cincinnati pushing Baylor Bears back. And Tawee Walker at 5'8", 218, downhill in the end zone on an opening drive touchdown for the Bearcats.
Keaton Thomas got a faceful. Is there an offense in the country that consistently starts games better than Cincinnati does?
They just roll. They keep rolling. You get the scripted opening drive, and you try to script for success. Well, the success for the Bearcats equals 7 here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's longest game-opening drive of the season only continues something you keyed in on this week.
Yeah, this week, first quarter, opening drives, and I said, wait, this is too much of a disparity. Plus 80 for this offense, for this team in the first quarter. Outstanding job, Cincinnati, plus 80. Can Baylor, who's minus 11. I mean, they don't get off to fast starts. That's what this game kind of boils down to. We'll see how this first quarter plays out.
Steven Rusnak sends it away to Cole Wilson, the speedy wide receiver who goes hopping to the 15. Well, it's a great offense for Baylor. Scott Satterfield's thoughts on the Bears.
Outstanding offense, #1 passing offense in the country. The quarterback's an outstanding player. They have some great talent on the outside with some wide receiver play.
Yes, Sawyer Robertson is first in the country in passing yards, tied for first in passing touchdowns, 30th in QBR, and he's coming off maybe his worst game of the season.
Yeah, 3 interceptions last week versus TCU. Did not play his game. Now look, a lot of it you say because of the lightning delay. He wants to come out and have a much better start today.
Good to see Bryson Washington as his running back to start running physically right into the face of Trey Gola-Collard for 6.
He's going to run like that all game long. That bodes well for this Baylor offense. They are at best when Bryson Washington is running downhill and getting those big chunks on first down.
Redshirt sophomore who last year rushed for 1,000 yards, but he's been banged up. And the Bears need to run the football better. And look at the emphasis they've got on the ground. This is very close to a first down from Washington again.
Yeah, back-to-back runs right through the middle of this defense. That time having Michael Trigg, the linebacker, coming through downhill. But you can see the snaps right there per game. When he's doing his thing, getting those yards, this is a much different offense. A little more balanced than such a high perennial passing attack.
This guy's been hurt. Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator, told us Washington truly spends 4 to 5 hours each day in the training room. Spavital told us on the field pregame that Washington's feeling good today, so maybe he can play even more. Play clock winding down, and whistle stop play.
Timeout, Baylor. You mentioned that clock was winding down.
Waiting on a signal here from the officials. Some of the officials are summoning Cincinnati back onto the field.
And reset the neutral zone. The ball will be respotted. It's a half-yard short of the line to gain. This is a warning.
Okay, I think they're on the center, I believe, right? The center moved the ball. So you can't respot the football. Once the ball is set, the center can't touch the football until it's ready for play. If he moves the football, and that's the warning that the official just gave.
Yeah, there was no timeout taken. Play clock was winding down. So in that sense, it helps out Baylor on this 3rd down and 1. Washington straight up the middle for a first down. Boy, we talked about the urgency for this Baylor team. Start of a drive after Cincinnati marched down the field. Dave Aranda needed that first down for this offense.
Yeah, but 3 straight runs to start this drive, right? They're trying to calm down a little bit, keep that Cincinnati offense on the sideline, but more importantly, get into a rhythm offensively. You thought, hey, Sawyer Robertson throwing the football? No, 3 straight runs to start this game offensively for Baylor.
Dave Aranda said to us this week, we have to run the football better. All day for Robertson. Hasn't run it a ton this year, but he takes off and picks up positive yardage. Well, this team, again, 4-3, 2-2 in the Big 12. Dave Aranda, to us, described it as a frustrated team. Jake Spavital said to us there was soul-searching this week. He actually encouraged his offense to have a players-only meeting led by Robertson and Michael Trigg. Matt Powledge, the defensive coordinator, said to us, we know the clock is ticking. Huge game for the Bears. And it's Washington again, straight up the middle. Ran into Gola-Collard, and it's 3rd down.
Mike, urgency is the word you used. That was the same exact word every single player I talked to this week used as well. Jacob Redding told me last week they got punched in the mouth by TCU, and it was a wake-up call for this team on both sides of the ball. They know their backs are up against the wall. It's win or go home for good right now in the conference.
Pivotal game here at Cincinnati. Mike Turner, true freshman, checks in for Washington at running back. On 3rd down and 5. Robertson under pressure and sacked. Micah Coleman brought the heat with Jalen Hunt to finish off Robertson.
Well, it was a Bearcat party in the backfield. They also brought Jake Golday as well. When you bring that kind of pressure and outstanding coverage on the outside, Robertson wanted to go to either Cameron or Trigg, but the rush was able to get there. Nice job by the Bearcats getting some pressure on Robertson.
After the sack, that is Dante Corleone, who is down for Cincinnati. Fifth-year senior, star nose guard, who has been battling a sprained left ankle this year. Coaching staff told us yesterday it's actually turned into a calf issue as well. And Corleone right there was grabbing at that left calf that has been problematic and has forced them to change medically how they prepare him throughout this week.
Yeah, just not being able to get push on that last play. And he just goes down on his own. He just says, you know what, I can't do it. He's trying to push off, and he's been battling through injuries. His defense is not the same when he's not 100%. When he's out there, this defense is maybe one of the better ones in the country. But big number two's out, definitely adjustments have to be made.
Last week, it was 20-some-odd snaps for him. Tyson Veit, the defensive coordinator, said to us yesterday, ideally, if there's 70 snaps for our defense, we'd play him 50 of them.
Yeah, he's a force in the middle, and he does a great job of not only playing up and down on that center and guard, but he really sets the tone defensively for the Bearcats.
Palmer Williams is the excellent junior punter for Baylor, preseason first-team All-American. Gets it away from the 15, low and wobbly to the redshirt sophomore running back Manny Covey, who gets wrapped up immediately by Micah Gifford. 6+ minutes to go. Dante Corleone and the Bearcats up by 7 on Baylor.
ESPN College Football is presented by Claude, the AI for problem solvers.
Dante Corleone is the star defensive tackle for Cincinnati, nicknamed the Godfather. This is from Bucketheads.
Yeah.
It's the Godfather burger,
Yeah.
barbecue beef brisket,
I got one.
an onion ring on top,
You ready?
and a cheeseburger. Let's do it.
Yeah, here it is right here for you. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, Mike. I'm going right in. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yep. Thank you. That's pretty good.
Done.
Somebody's got to talk on this broadcast right now, so I'm going to save this. Although I am going to eat the Godfather burger in front of the Godfather right here, the guy that created it. Corleone, by the way, he is on the bench, guys. Came off hobbling after that last play, but he's good to go now, and now I'm about to bite into this thing.
Chow down. That is no joke. Outstanding. Cincinnati's offense back with it. Brendan Sorsby's got all day. He pumps, takes off, and escapes around the corner. Brendan Sorsby turns that into something positive. Very close to a first down, and he does have enough.
So, do you play, when you were younger, did you play like backyard football? Did you use alligators or 1000s?
1000.
1000. Okay. If you just look at when Sorsby's back there, it's 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000. So much time to protect, survey the defense, and then has the ability to take off and go make a positive game. A lot is on this offensive line, and you saw it on that last play, being able to scan the defense and still find a positive game.
Hands it off here and barreling straight ahead. It's Tawi Walker. Talked about some of the receiving options. Tawi Walker's a great story. Went to junior college, then he walked on at Oklahoma, spent a couple of years there where he was teammates with Dylan Gabriel. Then last year at Wisconsin, thought he was going to pro football, ended up with another year because of the Diego Pavia-Juco rule.
Yeah, and just finds his way into an offense that I think is suited for him. He's got a role. He's the downhill barreling back, and he's found a way to really be productive.
Part of the 1-2 punch. Sorsby with a pump. Wanted a deep shot, and instead he gets rid of it out of bounds in the direction of Cyrus Allen. Third down and short coming up. How's that burger sitting, by the way?
Yeah, that burger's good. I'm waiting to the next commercial break, though. Trying to figure out what can Baylor do right here defensively, Mike. This is a 3rd and medium, right? 3rd and 2, almost 3rd and short. A lot of options here. The number one guy you have to look at on offense for Cincinnati is number 4, Cyrus Allen. This is where he comes to life, especially when he's lined up in the slot right here.
And then Patrick Gerd, 21 in red, comes in to block for Sorsby. All kinds of room off the right side. We got all those weapons like you're talking about with Allen. It opens things up for quarterback run.
Yeah, but Jackie Marshall, he's the outside defensive end. He can't get collapsed. Watch the end right here. See how he goes inside? Well, if you're going to play go inside, Sorsby reads that and just goes outside. Didn't need much. Only needed 2 yards. He picks up 12 on what should have been a small or a minimal gain.
Again, it's an elite offense on one side. Nearly 8 yards per play coming into today. 2nd best in the country. Fresh set of downs. Misdirection. Sorsby a check down to Joe Royer. Superstar tight end has enough for a first down. DJ Coleman, the junior nickel, on the stop after 11.
You know, I asked Joe Royer yesterday about this tight end delay. He runs it to perfection. Just watch. He's right here, and just watch him throughout the play. He hangs on a defender. He's just blocking. He's blocking. And then at last second, he just turns around. And there he is, right over the quarterback. Show hands, and the ball's delivered to him. He perfects this play.
And remember, he calls it what on Jackie Marshall? That little chip.
The little chip, the cookie. He's like, yeah, I give a chip, meaning a little extra block helping out his offensive tackles.
On the ground straight ahead for Tawi Walker. Royer is such a big part of this Cincinnati offense. 6th-year senior, Cincinnati native. Last year, first team Big 12 after 4 years at Ohio State. One of the great weapons like we've been talking about for Sorsby.
Yeah, he's, to me, one of the success stories of college football. A guy that's really found his love and his passion, and it's really happened the last couple of years at Cincinnati.
2nd down and 7. Sorsby escaped the rush, and he gets tripped up by Caleb Burns. Looks to be about a yard short, so it's 3rd down and 1 coming up with 3:05 to go in the first quarter, and Cincinnati up 7-0.
Yeah, nice job again of filling the rush. Kyler Jordan, number 40, he's coming right up the field, and he just misses Sorsby, but being able to go north. I love when Sorsby goes north. He doesn't retreat. He doesn't back up in the pocket. He's always moving forward, and moving forward gets him into this 3rd and short.
Cincinnati aligning its tight ends. Play fake. Sorsby, foot in the ground. Physical play, plenty for a first down. And Brendan Sorsby marked down at the 11.
Yeah, that's a different RPO. It's a bootleg, but I still call it a run-pass option. That if he finds the open receiver, you pass it. But if it's not there, you know where the marker is, and you get enough. And you see the physical run of the quarterback. He knew where that marker was, kept the ball, protected it, dove forward for the first down.
He's been their third leading rusher this year with 6 rushing touchdowns of those 24 total. Told us he grew up playing running back because they didn't throw the ball very much in 5th and 6th grade. He wanted to run. Evan Pryor does here. Off the right side with a stiff arm into the face of LeVar Thornton. 70-yard pickup.
Yeah, I love how just the formations that you see from Cincinnati. They'll put double tight ends up top, and then they'll just leave DeAndre Buford, the right tackle, over there by himself. They add blockers. They try to get a numbers game on you offensively to where it outnumbers the defense. And you saw that last one. That should have been a minimal game, but yet they turn it into 5 or 6 yards just because they add extra blockers at the point of attack.
Line to gain is just inside the 1, so this is 2nd down and 4 for the Bearcats. Pryor straight ahead, reaching out. Pryor's in, touchdown.
They just caving it down. Joe Cotton, that left tackle. 87, Gavin Grover. I mean, this offensive line dominates. Just watch the left side of the offensive line. They're just caving everything down. And then Evan Pryor, he's like, wait, is it this easy? Yeah, it's that easy. He just leans forward for the first down, for the touchdown. This offensive line, these first 2 drives, you couldn't script it any better. They're not only throwing the football, quarterback making the right decisions, but it's been the rushing attack. 2 rushing touchdowns to start this football game for Cincinnati.
Last week at Oklahoma State in the first half, it was 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for Scott Satterfield calling the plays offensively. So far today, an 11-play, 81-yard drive, and then 10 plays, 66 yards. And yet, it does look that easy for the Bearcats offense, one of the best in the country. Steven Rusnak is the 5th-year senior, the transfer from Charlotte. Point after is good, and it is 14-zip already.
That's what it is. Down here, you just rely on your offensive line. Pryor skating left, skating right, skating in for a touchdown.
Baylor's season so far. Week 1, they had a marquee Friday night game against Auburn, but Jackson Arnold and the Tigers ran for 300-plus yards. Week 2, a comeback win in double overtime against number 17 SMU. By the way, went down today. Week 4, Arizona State, who's now into the top 25, beat them on a walk-off field goal in Waco. Then 3 weeks ago, another comeback, this time against Kansas State. Why hasn't Baylor gotten in gear this year? It's something we'll unpack throughout the day. Let's get you to the studio and zoom in.
Baylor will take over 1st and 10.
One-way traffic in the first 2 minutes. Meantime, here it's 14-0 for Dave Aranda, and we said it. Why haven't they got going this year? Offensively, they've been solid, but the run game hasn't been there.
Yeah, it was there early on, but they've got to start to try to find ways to get the ball to Michael Trigg and Josh Cameron.
Sawyer Robertson to the air, and he lofts one too high. Intended for Ashton Hawkins and nearly intercepted by Logan Wilson.
That's just a high errant throw. And the nice job so far of this defense of Cincinnati, but getting pushed, offensive linemen are right into the face of Sawyer. That's why that ball, Sawyer Robertson, that's why that ball sailed. Couldn't step into it.
It was his first throw of today. Again, coming off 3 interceptions last week, all in the final 6 minutes of the game. Check down Bryson Washington. Made a cut on Logan Wilson. Cincinnati swarms, though, in just about 3 yards.
Yeah, it looks like Monte Wheaton, he's down. He's the defender. Nice job running to the football, but he made that hit, and he's still on the ground.
Sophomore is the backup Sam linebacker. He played last year as a true freshman from Silver Spring, Maryland, you see. Came in further along physically, strength-wise last year than they expected, and a contributor in his 2 years here.
Yeah, just at the end of the play, just running to the football. Did a nice job of running, getting there. Nice job by Logan Wilson holding the outside.
Boy, they could look at that. Yeah, that almost for unnecessary roughness, late hit on Antoine Peak as well.
Yeah, that was a really late hit. You may see something, possibly. But good to see Whedon up on his feet, walking off in his own power.
Well, in any event, it sets up a big 3rd down for this Baylor offense. Sawyer Robertson and Baylor trying to get in gear on their 2nd possession. And it feels like you got to match points with Cincinnati. And a huge 3rd down already. Robertson steps up. He rifles one to his trusty target, Michael Trigg, and that's ruled incomplete. Ended up near the hands of Cole Wilson. Trey Gola-Collard was there defensively, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, nice job by Gola-Collard at the end. It looked like right initially was Jaquan Sanks who's on him. Nice job of Sanks playing all the way through. So you got both guys sandwiching Trigg right there. You thought he was going to get the reception, but fighting all the way through was, I think, Sanks that put that left hand in there. That's an outstanding job, knowing where Baylor wanted to go on 3rd down with the football, but great team defense knocking it out.
Sanks had that arm right in there. Sophomore safety, returning starter from last year. Palmer Williams, high punt, takes a Cincinnati hop, and the Bearcats will have it right around the 45 with excellent field position. Hey, coming up 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the new and improved ESPN app. Final game of the SEC on ABC tripleheader. Number 20 LSU in a big spot against number 3 Texas A&M in Death Valley. Well, Dave Aranda, of course, former LSU defensive coordinator with great success there. And now Brian Kelly's group trying to figure things out and get a big win.
Yeah, they need a big win today. This will be a big statement for them. Still on track in the SEC, but Texas A&M, I feel like this is a game for them. that they can really announce that, hey, they are for real and worthy of that #3 ranking, just a couple weeks away from the first college football playoff rankings. Can't wait to see what that looks like coming up.
Saw there was a flag down. The officials are in discussion, this Big 12 crew led by Tuta Salam. Officials look like they're going to pace off a holding call from around the 47, so they will back things up to the 37, and that's where Cincinnati will start. Brendan Sorsby and the Bearcats twice have marched down the field. 11 plays the first time, 10 plays the second. Evan Pryor into the arms of Jacob Redding. Good gain on first down as this ground game continues to pound behind the O-line.
Yeah, Pryor is such a explosive running back, but it's like when he gets the football, he's in a downhill slalom, right? I know it's almost winter time, but he's like a skier back there. He goes left to right and seems to find and squeaks through the hole.
Gets it again on second down and wrapped up by Jackie Marshall. Fifth-year senior defensive end. Last year was honorable mention Big 12. This year is dealt with a high ankle sprain, and they need a good game from him.
Yeah, they need a good game from him. He was spirited on the bench on that last drive. After that last drive, he want to see a better performance by his defense.
Brendan Sorsby and Cincinnati have won 6 straight games. Blessed with one of the best offenses in the country. It's been the case so far after the first quarter at Cincinnati.
Welcome back. Cincinnati up 14-0 and driving to start the second quarter. Now, in that first quarter, frustrations boiling over on this Baylor sideline. The defense heatedly discussing their communication issues on the field. Mike and Kirk, the fifth-year senior, Jackie Marshall, having none of it, but you can feel and see the frustration from this D.
And now they face a big third down, and they get a stop. DJ Coleman wraps up Brendan Sorsby, and it brings up fourth down.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Coleman. He fought through a block and was able to make the stop on Sorsby. Watch 33 fly into your screen, refusing to be blocked, and go and make the play. That's a nice job, and that's a nice hold. You just talked about it, Don. That's how you can build the confidence of a defense, making a stop and getting off the field.
Remember, Dave Aranda's team had dark horse vibes in the preseason. I mean, they brought back so much. They essentially were the 28th team in the preseason poll, third in receiving votes. They've lost 3 games, and they only have 1 win against a team with a winning record this year. They get a big stop there, and then Cincinnati was aligning its personnel, and the play clock wound down on the Bearcats' punt unit.
I think this was one of those I call quirky punt formations to see just how the defense aligns.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
The defense didn't budge. They lined up correctly, and it forced Cincinnati to have to delay a game.
It's a big stop for Dave Aranda's defense, especially in light of what Don just reported from the sidelines. So this backs up Max Fletcher, excellent punter in his own right. Low deep punt to Josh Cameron, makes a fair catch at the 17. Kick off your Week 8 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew over on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. Then the Commanders will be in Kansas City against the Chiefs. 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN Deportes with Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with Scott Van Pelt and the Countdown Crew at 6.
Make sure you set your fantasy rosters, by the way. Go to your ESPN app, set your fantasy roster. A lot of bye weeks this week, Mike. Caught me off guard. Like, what, 8, 9 bye teams on a bye this week?
And you told me daylight savings this
daylight
weekend?
next weekend. Next weekend. Yeah.
Next weekend.
Yeah, just
so don't do it this week.
Public service announcement for everybody.
That's Mike Turner on the ground for the Bears. All right, so we saw them try to run it their first drive. Sawyer Robertson went to the air a couple times their second drive. What does a good drive here look like?
Well, a good drive is getting the ball to number 34, Josh Cameron. He's lined up at wide receiver, and I thought that's the guy who you want to give the football to. We talked to Coach Spavital, Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator. They put in some plays just to get the ball in his hands. We just haven't seen it yet so far.
Turner, true freshman running back on the ground, takes it to the 25. 3rd down and 2 coming up.
Yeah, I think this may be the opportunity here. You get to a third and minimal opportunity here. They've been keeping the ball on the ground. Maybe they stick to it. But I'm just so surprised that number 34 hasn't touched the football yet for Baylor.
I mean, you see it. Cincinnati's offense had 10 first downs in the first quarter. Baylor only ran 9 plays offensively. Cameron, bottom of your screen. They run it. Washington made the cut, and it's very close to the line to gain the 27. Trey Gola-Collard's been flying around here in the first half.
Yeah, he just makes it clean. Watch number 6 just fly in. He just flies in. He knows where to go. See where he fits? He knew he was going to fit outside. So a tremendous job there by Gola-Collard, but just enough for the first down. And you can hear these fans. They don't like the call there, but definitely enough for the Baylor first down. Barely enough.
Barely. After some deliberation, they did move the chains for Sawyer Robertson and Baylor.
Say a generous spot, Mike.
Dante Corleone does check back in here for Cincinnati. Play fake. Robertson to the outside, and there's your guy, 34, Josh Cameron. Workhorse, 5th-year senior leading wideout, the former walk-on with a first down.
So you give him an opportunity and you get 10 yards. It's pretty easy, right? Getting one of your better football players the football. I think he's a matchup nightmare for Cincinnati. That time you get him the football with the space that they're playing off, that's 10 yards, and that's a first down.
224 pounds, and he can make you miss with the ball in his hands. Trigg was in motion. Blocking on the edge. Robertson checked down with a flag down. Pass was caught by Mike Turner.
Yeah, but this is going to come back. They're going to get a hold on Michael Trigg, the tight end, number 1. He's holding on as Robertson gets out of the pocket.
Number 1, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
He's listed as a tight end, but he's basically a 5th receiver.
Yeah, he's a 5th receiver, but just watch as he doesn't let go of the defender. So Robertson's trying to get outside of the pocket, and you see right there the hold. He's got to let go of that left hand on Micah Coleman, number 4, and it's right there in front of the official, an easy call to make.
So it backs up the Bears into first down and 20. Pressure off the edge, middle screen. Trigg spun away from Gola Collard and Golday, and Michael Trigg keeps rumbling. How do you bring this man down at 6'4", 240? He's fired up, and he's arrived into the game.
Yeah, Trey Gola Collard had an opportunity. He didn't keep his head up, nor did he wrap. And if you don't wrap Michael Trigg, he is a matchup nightmare. I told you, the ball in his hand, 6'4", 240 pounds. And just watch the big man rumble. Spin cycle, dash, duck. He did a little bit of everything for the gain on first down.
Turner running straight ahead. He's a downhill guy. He's about a half-yard shy, so it's third down and short coming up.
Yeah, I'll knock the Guardian cap off his head. It was such a big hit on that one, but a young, true freshman running downhill.
Does that count as Hefty coming out for a play?
I think so. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the first time I've seen that before. You know, usually it's when the physical helmet, but not the Guardian cap. But I guess he comes out for a play.
Wow, they spotted that as a first down. Initial spot was a half-yard short, so Baylor keeps on moving here. Washington back into the game. Spins down right at the 50. 2-yard pickup. Mike Coleman on the stop.
Yeah, you feel like this is a drive that Baylor has to get points. It's like dire need. You can't come away from this drive with nothing. A field goal, touchdown, anything, just to get the positive vibes on that sideline, looking for a score. Cincinnati gets this football back. You almost feel like it's a loss for this half offensively for Baylor.
Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator in his second year. Former head coach at Texas State. Robertson, deep ball down the sideline and just out of the reach of Ashton Hawkins.
They had him. They had him. They got the double move. They got what they wanted. The double move with Ashton Hawkins on the outside, a little stutter and go, and you can see the frustration in Hawkins. He wanted that. That ball just a little overthrown. He overshot Hawkins, his big play wide receiver. But man, they waited. They had the double move all set up and just missed what could have been a short touchdown.
Boy, emotion all over the place from Baylor on both sides of the ball. You can feel the tension around this program. Quickly, on third down, Kobe Prentice, the Alabama transfer, gets wrapped up by Christian Harrison.
Oh, man, love this. Love this play by Harrison. Now, it is a game, and now I think Baylor will go for it on fourth down. I don't see the punting unit coming in. Just watch the job by Harrison, number 5. See how he holds the outside? See that? That's a nice job. He's making sure he's setting an edge, and you see the red shirts coming in to make the play. That sets up a fourth down, and I know for sure this Baylor offense, they've got to go for it here.
Dave Aranda goes for it on fourth downs at the 3rd highest rate in the country. Robertson toward Caden Knighton and incomplete. Not on the same page, and Baylor turns it over on downs. The Bearcats get the stop, and they've got all the momentum in the first half at home. Poor start for Dave Aranda's team here on the road against number 21 Cincinnati. What do you think of this play call offensively?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out who's the football going to. This is one of the most important plays of this half. And you've got a true freshman in Cade Knighton who's not turning around for the football. Or was it being thrown to Josh Cameron? You're off. Two guys not on the same page. And that's a turnover on downs and an opportunity for you to get points. And now you still got the goose egg on the board.
And you put Knighton in the game there. I know Bryson Washington's been banged up. But the true freshman, as you said, in running back. Tommy Walker on the ground, tackled by Caleb Burns after 5.
But I think that goes into the frustration that you've sensed it, I sense it, you're down there, Don, you feel it. It's a frustration of Baylor that they just have not played complementary football, offensively and defensively. With so many expectations coming into this season, you see it right there on a lot of these players' faces, just opportunities missed.
Now you got to deal with great field position for this explosive Cincinnati offense. Isaiah Johnson's got enough for a first down on the quick hitter from Sorsby.
And it's just surgical, right? It's like Brendan Sorsby, he's the surgeon. And he finds everybody. You know, coming in, Isaiah Johnson's only had 7 catches, so now he's got number 8. You know what I mean? They find guys, or he finds the open player.
Look at Baylor trying to get the line defensively here. Sorsby on the run. Will just get rid of it with Matthew Fobbs-White, the junior edge rusher, transfer from Tulane, applying pressure.
Yeah, flag on the play. That was laying it down. I wonder, did it get a hold right there?
Markers at the 37-yard line.
For an eligible player downfield, possibly. It was just a late flag, and sometimes I think it's an ineligible player downfield.
There is no foul for an ineligible player downfield. The quarterback was legally throwing the ball away. It's second down.
Yeah, you get one of those late flags, especially late in the down, and the quarterback still trying to throw, but he also possibly could take off and run. Always hard for the offensive lineman to say, do I go past the line of scrimmage or stay behind? That time it was right there on that line, but no call was made.
So second down and 10 for Cincinnati from the 42 in plus territory. Tommy Walker out of the backfield. Lowers the shoulder and picks up a first down. Just ran over the safety Tyler Turner for 11.
Physical. That's what you call, that's a physical catch and run. You get the blocking outside, and nice job by Sorsby. He sees the blitz. And he turns too quickly, gets that ball out, and delivers a blow. Was Tyree Walker at the end, an outstanding run, running over Tyler Turner.
So now they've spotted it a yard short. Walker thought he had a first down, but it's third down and 1 for Cincinnati.
And I think Cincinnati's going to have to call a timeout the way this clock is dwindling down.
Yeah, they had their first down personnel in the game. Now they've subbed, so Baylor's allowed to sub, and you see the play clock winding down.
Cincinnati takes their first charge timeout of the half.
So Scott Satterfield's got to burn one, and you saw him just say, that's on me. I thought it was first down. We'll have a quick look at it ourselves as we step out midway through the second. Walker ran over Tyler Turner, and then where'd they spot him? 3 weeks ago, Tawi Walker did this to Iowa State linebacker Carson Willick.
Whew. Oh my God. Whew. Yeah, that's why you wear chin straps and mouthpieces and all that. And we just got another dose of that again. Tyler Turner right there. If Tawi Walker has the football, yes, business decisions will be made. Business decisions.
Hey, boys, he told me that he just tells the team, I'm setting the tone for the day, guys. I'm the enforcer.
A fitting nickname for Tawi Walker, 218 pounds, who stays in the game in the pistol on 3rd down and 1 for Cincinnati. 3 for 4 on 3rd downs today. Why not Walker? Up the middle, running past Jacob Redding for 5.
You know, we talked about this offensive line from the beginning, but just watch the push. So for me, I always look at the line of scrimmage and you say, which side is pushing what side? So I'm looking at the red shirts are pushing the white shirts back. And if you're already a yard across, that gives the runner an easy amount of, I think, area to find where he needs to go.
So from center on out, Gavin Gerhardt, Evan Tangesthal, and Joe Cotton off that left side. Play fake. Sorsby had heat in the face. Got rid of it in the direction of Walker, with Marion Winston applying pressure.
Yeah, nice job by Winston. And this is where Sorsby making sure he's aware. So when quarterbacks have what I call, see this blind bootleg, you always have to think that someone's going to be right there in your face. He was able to turn too, and actually probably could have got a 15-yard penalty there on Winston with that hand to the face at the end.
Winston avoided that, so now 2nd down and 10 from just inside the 30. If you're just joining us, Cincinnati marched down the field for long touchdown drives on its first 2 possessions. Sorsby stepped up, and this ball is nearly intercepted. Jacob Redding could not hang on as he crashed into friendly fire on the Baylor defense.
Yeah, he was trying to get the ball. Sorsby was to Evan Pryor. Watch the running back. He's going to come right down. You thought he was going to get the block. He avoids the block. Sorsby tries to get it to him, but just couldn't contort his body backwards. Was Pryor, and that ball's in the air. Tips and overthrows, you got to get those. Those are the plays that can change the tide of the game. And another missed opportunity there for the Baylor team. The Baylor defense could have had an opportunity to get off the field.
Sorsby's only interception this year, week 1, like you said, at the end of the Nebraska loss. 3rd down and 10, quarterback run to the outside, and a great tackle made by Bo Onu. Talented true freshman nickel getting some run for Baylor, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, some injuries in that Baylor secondary, but you talk about a stop here. Outstanding stop. A good job on the outside on the end. Getting everybody inside was Fobbs White, and then just cleaning up was Onu. That's good team defense. That'll put a smile on the coach's face. I know Aranda's a little upset, but that puts a smile on the coach's face to see your defense respond in that situation.
Kendrick Simpkins went to the locker room, so Onu comes in and makes the stop. This from 46 for Steven Rusnak, who's 9 for 9 on the season, and Rusnak remains perfect. 17-0 is the Cincinnati lead. Inside of 6 to go in the 2nd quarter.
43.
Zoom and Trevor, thank you. Let's take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Prudential. We'll take a trip around the country with what's happening. A lot of big games going on around the country.
Yeah, a lot of big games right now. You remember when Alabama, the sky was falling and Saban was gone? They were undisciplined after week 1. That feels like years ago, light years ago, right, Mike?
And my, how things have changed.
Yeah.
Ever since Florida State. All right, so what catches your eye beyond Bama?
To me, just an Indiana win. I mean, could have been a trap game, and yet they put up 56, a 50 burger, right? Another win by Ole Miss, close, but they find a way. And you got a couple teams that's idle, Ohio State and Georgia, but got a big matchup later on today. Would love to see how this Vanderbilt-Missouri game kind of plays out. 3-3 right now at the half.
Yeah, you got Diego Pavia, Bo Prabula. You had game day there. You got a great running back in Ahmad Hardy, and you got 6 points.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be a shootout? They do still play defense in the SEC.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Baylor's got the football, and they need offense. Sawyer Robertson to Ashton Hawkins, who dropped the football. Logan Wilson pounces on it, and it's a takeaway. It is all Cincinnati.
Nice job by Logan Wilson. That's his second takeaway in the matter of weeks. He had the big interception last week, and then, I mean, he was able to get the fumble recovery, but finding a way to just get his hands on the football, knock one out, and go recover. That's how you do it. You knock the ball out, and you find a way. Logan Wilson, we saw yesterday in the weight room, one of the most explosive players on this UC team, this Cincinnati football team, showing it right there.
Look at the emotion from Ashton Hawkins. He was so frustrated when he couldn't connect with Sawyer Robertson on the previous possession on the deep ball, and then it was definitely a catch and fumble, and that look says it up for Baylor fans.
Yeah, look, last week again, Logan Wilson had a fumble recovery. This time, he forces his own fumble and then recovers it. So that's a nice job 2 weeks in a row, getting his hands on the football with Logan Wilson.
And feel for Ashton Hawkins. Excellent field position for Cincinnati. Another chunk gain, Evan Pryor. Kylan Reed, the sophomore linebacker, in on the stop.
That's just a heartbreaker for Baylor. You finally get a good stop. You hold them to a field goal, and you're trying to get your offense in gear, and in one play, ball's on the ground, and it's right back to Cincinnati, who can honestly win this middle 8 as we start to get closer to the halftime break. They get points here. You almost feel like this game could be out of reach.
Pryor up the middle. Third down and short. Pryor's really grown. He came in as a home run hitter. We're talking with Scott Satterfield in his office yesterday, and he said Pryor coming in was probably not viewed as the guy who was going to get you tough yards. He does feel like Pryor now can give you some dirty runs, and they're feeling like Pryor's really evolved.
Yeah, he's just not a guy that just goes to the outside. He's getting his work done in between the tackles.
The Bearcats are 4 for 6 on third downs in this first half. They've converted them all on the ground. Another give. Pryor's got the speed to get around the edge. He gets bumped out of bounds. And where do they spot him? Kylan Reed nudged him out again. Line to gain was the 19.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there. I thought Sorsby read that they were going to blitz right off of that left side of the offense, and they ran a run play right into the blitz. Just shows you the speed of Pryor to outrace the blitz and get enough for a first down.
And they do mark it enough for a first down from Evan Pryor.
And they showed the blitz. He ran the play into the blitz. I think they may want to take just another look. Did he get the line to gain?
Feel that the reach the line to gain is under further review.
That's our first review, Mike. You ready?
Feels like we could have had a few so far, but the first one we do get.
All right, let's see.
I'm ready. All right, so line the game was the 19. The question is, are you ready?
I'm ready. And I think he does have the line to game. It's just, where's that football?
Got to get the 19. I didn't know based on that first look. No.
No.
About a full yard.
I thought he was a little bit closer than that on the initial look. But I think just watching it for the first time. See how he bubbles back, and then he's got to gain it enough to get to that 19 you mentioned. I think he's right out at the 20-yard line. So it'll probably be about a yard short.
Fourth and one, and you would expect go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably about a yard and a half short. But the way everything's going for you offensively, you're comfortable with going for it, right? You got a field goal on the last one, but you feel like this is a drive where the touchdown feels a lot bigger, right? Put 24 on the board versus a 3 to get to 20.
The runner ran out of bounds at the 20-yard line, which is 1 yard short of the line to gain.
Yeah, you can see the trying to be a lip reader here, but Scott Satterfield says hit 4th and 1. And I see the special teams unit come back to the sideline.
Well, he's got an offense that makes this a no-brainer, especially the way the game has gone so far. You said it, Cincinnati's got a chance to extend this even more than it already is on Baylor. Two tight ends on the right side of the formation, Joe Royer and Patrick Gerd, 21 in the red.
You got a tackle there by back door by himself. No receiver, no tight end to that side.
Tawee Walker needs the 19, churns the legs, and Walker's got enough. This dude's a battering ram.
That's like one of those old boxing workouts you ever see where a guy has the rope attached to him, he's pulling the truck. Watch the legs of Tawee Walker. Just watch. He's just finding a way, drugging and bringing along the truck. This is a truck run. I'm going to call it a truck run because he's dragging that truck. See, he stopped at the line to gain, but the legs keep moving, keep turning, dragging that truck.
Quarterback draw. Sorsby behind Pryor. And Sorsby wrapped up just outside the 5, and it sets up 1st and goal.
He's a sneaky runner. When I say sneaky, because he just finds the voids in the defense. That time, Keaton Thomas, number 11, he blitzes off the edge. Sorsby just feels it. He just feels it. See, watch Keaton Thomas, number 11, right there in the front. He just steps up. Doesn't even get a hand on Brendan Sorsby, and he gets a 10-yard gain for a 1st down because of his ability to see it and just glide and find a way for a 1st down.
Sorsby has 55 of the 143 rushing yards. Fires to the end zone, this time to Allen. Touchdown, Bearcats.
Man, what a throw. What a throw. I just want you to watch how this is called an area throw. Watch this. So you bring this guy over in here, stop. So he goes with him. Up and out, and you put this ball right near the back pylon and watch the quarterback. He sees it all. It's a spacing area route. You draw the corner on the outside out and the inside receiver with Jacob Redding on him. It's like a safety on one of your best receivers. And Cyrus Allen, oh yeah, I'm taking that matchup, and he takes it for a touchdown.
Cincinnati's offense is steamrolling it. It's 24-0.
Yeah, this is all just scheme. You pull the corner up, and now you know you've got one-on-one, and you've got a lot of room to that back pylon, and a tremendous throw by Sorsby.
For 20 years, Allstate has celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the university's athletic scholarship fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you to Allstate.
Just think the big play on that was going for it on 4th down. Remember, going for it on 4th down, you felt that was not an opportunity for the field goal if you're Cincinnati. 7 feels a lot bigger. It increases the lead to 24, and you've got a dejected sideline in Baylor right now, just searching for answers.
Number 21 in the country in Cincinnati, looking every bit the part and then some. They're one of 2 unbeaten teams in conference play in the Big 12. The other in BYU is trailing right now on the road at Iowa State. Cole Wilson will not take it out. So these were the odds coming into today for Cincinnati. 31% chance to reach the Big 12 championship game, 11% to win it and to make the college football playoff.
Well, you just have to like their chances. Right now, they're a well-balanced football team. Defensively, they're playing great, but where do we rank their quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, right now in the Big 12? I've got to put him as one of the top quarterbacks, 1-2 at best.
And how about in the country, too?
I'm just going just on conference, but you mentioned the country. To me, he's a dark horse Heisman candidate.
Bryson Washington gets popped after a 4-yard pickup by Xavier Williams.
I mean, if they continue to keep winning football games, you've got to put Brendan Sorsby's name, and his story is one I think college football needs to fall in love with a little bit more.
Under-recruited out of high school, goes to Indiana, leaves with the coaching change there from Tom Allen losing the job. Screen. Prentice, the Alabama transfer, wrapped up immediately by Xavier Williams after 3. And it brings us to the 2-minute timeout ahead of a big 3rd down for Baylor. Prentice hobbles off. It's been one-way traffic at Cincinnati. All right, Zubin. Yeah, really good performance by Trinidad Chambliss against an elite Oklahoma defense.
We all found out about Ferris State because of him.
3rd down, back shoulder to Josh Cameron. There's a flag down and ruled a catch to Cameron. Matched up with Ormani Arnold, the corner.
Been waiting for the opportunity to just continue to feed him. If there's anything offensively for Baylor, I want it to feed through number 34, Josh Cameron.
Pass interference, number 8, defense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is first down.
Yeah, Armani Arnold's all over him, but these are the types of catches that Josh Cameron can make. It doesn't matter. You can be all over him, draped over him. He finds ways to catch the football. That's why I love watching him on tape this week. They target him a lot, but I think right now, at this point in the game, the ball needs to be going number 34's way almost every other play.
Yeah, his third catch, your other top target, the tight end Michael Trigg, he's only got one catch in this game. Sawyer Robertson leads the country in passing yards, and he's only thrown for 58 of them here in the first half. Zips one into space across the middle to the sixth-year senior Ashton Hawkins, who takes it inside the 40.
Yeah, nice job of him coming back. Remember, he had the fumble on the last opportunity when he had the ball in his hands, but that time caught it, tucked it away, got some positive yards.
So you got all kinds of time. Clock starts rolling again toward 1:40, and all three timeouts for Baylor. Check down Bryson Washington. Got around the edge and able to get away from John Thompson. Banged out of bounds after a dozen by Jake Golday.
Yeah, that's a positive play right there, getting the ball to Washington. He had a wide open Cameron, though, that was streaking down the right sideline. So he had two opportunities, just didn't have enough time. He's looking down there. He had Cameron, but got the check down and got the first down.
Took another big hit, though, and he checks out of the game. Dave Aranda told us that Washington has dealt with hand, shoulder, rib problems, you name it. This dude's been a battler all season, they think. Fresh set of downs with 90 seconds. Robertson the run. That's where he started the slide. They give him about 1.5 yards.
And they still have all three timeouts. Surprised that they take one here. You still got a lot of time on the clock. You got 1:19. Why waste the time out here? Let that clock go just a little bit. I don't want to save any time. I don't want any time on this clock for Cincinnati.
Who leads by 24. Time now for Never Settle. Brought to you by State Farm. And yeah, the Cincinnati offense has not.
Well, they had to settle for 3 once, but other than that, they've settled for touchdowns. Been able to rush for a couple, just downhill and through the teeth of the defense, showing the physical nature of this offense in getting the ball in their hands in the rushing attack. But in one passing touchdown to Allen, everybody's been involved so far offensively for this Cincinnati offense, and they're leaning on that quarterback right there, Sorsby, doing a terrific job.
He's been one of the best in the country, and they have just pounded the rock against a shaky Baylor defense. So 1:22 to go. Baylor on the edge of the red zone with second down and 8 and 2 timeouts remaining. Cameron motions to the bottom of your screen. Robertson for the freshman Mike Turner. Got a block on the edge, and Turner gets a first down. Clock's going to roll here. Did not get fully out of bounds after 10.
Nice job, nice play call, just getting out in space. Had a lot of blockers out there. You mentioned that Turner got enough.
Screen to Cameron. Could not escape John Thompson. All over the shifty wide receiver for a loss of 3.
Yeah, nice job by Jonathan Thompson. John Thompson, he just came up and watch how he stays square. You ever heard where like defenders stay square? Watch how he stays in front of him, stay square. Didn't go for the inside move. He said, no, he made Cameron declare where he was going to go and brings him down. Yeah, you take a bow on that one. That's a solo tackle in the open field. You take a bow.
Timeout number 2 for Dave Aranda. And the next stop on the F1 schedule is the Mexico City Grand Prix. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 Eastern on ABC and the all-new ESPN app. Our pre-race coverage starts at 2:30 Eastern with ESPN Deportes coverage beginning at 3. Homecoming parade earlier today got going around noon, 4 hours before kickoff.
Yeah, I love this crowd. This crowd's come out. You said you like this little sea of red that we're seeing around the stadium. Your first time here at the Nippert Stadium.
By the way, the people of Cincinnati,
so great, right?
Could not have been nicer our entire time. We had a fabulous meal at Pep and Dolores last night. Minute to go in this first half. It's a draw to Mike Turner. Straight ahead, gets chopped down by Simeon Coleman after a 4-yard pickup.
And now you're playing kind of the waiting game. Where I said earlier, you didn't want to use that timeout earlier. You want to keep it. And so now you have an opportunity here to keep the ball. So the ball will not go back to Cincinnati. That's what you're telling yourself offensively. As Sawyer Robertson looked back at the clock.
On 3rd and 9. Quarterback draw with Robertson. Swung down by Micah Coleman. He's short, marked down at the 7. And the final timeout is used by Dave Aranda.
I think it was funny. Did you notice that Sawyer Robertson, so the actual play clock, Mike, was behind him, or the actual game clock. So he can't see how much time is left in the quarter or in the half. So he's got to turn all the way around and look at the clock because he realizes you want to keep the football. You want to get points here. Go in with a positive. Even if it's just 3, you've got points, something that you can build on and come out in the second half with a much better effort offensively.
We've seen this Cincinnati team 2 weeks in a row now. Yeah. For the casual fan flipping around who hasn't yet locked in on the Bearcats, they should.
Right.
What impresses you most?
It's their quarterback, how calm he is in the pocket, and he's able to distribute the football, whether it's the wide receivers, even the running backs out of the backfield. And he's got a terrific offensive line that I think just doesn't get enough credit. He stays upright, but he stays protected, and I think that's what they lean on. If you ask me what's the one thing right now about Cincinnati, it has to be their offensive line.
Yeah, those guys paving the way for an offense that can run it. Sorsby's got all these weapons as well, with Scott Satterfield calling the plays. And so here we go on 4th down and 3. Dante Corleone fires up the locals, and Baylor going for it here.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this decision. If I got 3 points, I'm kicking a field goal knowing I get the ball to start the second half. You're kind of gambling for it right here, trying to get 7. I would definitely settle for a field goal.
Robertson, end zone trick, touchdown. Baylor needed that desperately, and they're on the board.
Desperation. Desperation, and you find a way to get the ball to the guy who I highlighted before the game. Michael Trigg, the tight end. He's a mismatch nightmare, but just watch this route. He gets up and sells it, and he just kind of goes to the post. And watch where this ball is delivered. Maybe Sawyer Robertson's best throw of the day. I mean, he gets it between 3 Cincinnati defenders, and now touchdown, they're on the board.
They're going to go for 2 here. I mean, I get what you're saying about needing points, but you can't be getting field goals against Cincinnati.
But they have a possession to start the second half. But this is a positive possession, getting 7, hopefully, or even 2 extra.
Empty it out for Sawyer Robertson. Quarterback draw, and Robertson gets stacked up. This is 2 weeks in a row. Baylor's needed 3 yards and goes with quarterback draw. And Cincinnati stands up Robertson.
Yeah, that's a nice job of just the defense realizing everybody's spread out, but keeping an eye on the quarterback. And a nice job by Dingle, the linebacker, Jack Dingle. See how he's right there, just pressing the offensive lineman back, finding the quarterback, and you see all the red shirts right there converging on Robertson.
So Baylor gets something. Cincinnati prevents the 2, and you said it. Yeah. Sawyer Robertson and Baylor going to get the football to begin the second half as well, and maybe they can carry over some of that momentum.
You needed points there. Like, I would have settled for the field goal, but look, you gamble, you get the touchdown, but now you go into halftime and just say, hey, where could we be better at? Finding ways to get the ball to Michael Trigg, the tight end, or Josh Cameron. I think you may also have to abandon the running game at some point, because in the second half, Cincinnati, the time of possession game is something that they love to do.
Baylor had just 66 yards on its first 4 drives, piled up 75 yards on that drive. Logan Wilson back deep, ready to get it from Rhett Armstrong. Talented freshman sails one over Wilson.
PCs powered by Snapdragon X Elite processors feature blazing fast performance and next-level efficiency. Snapdragon, the heart of your PC.
So Brendan Sorsby and Cincinnati pile up 24 points in this first half. 195 yards of total offense. Sorsby 7 for 12, threw for a touchdown. He rushed for 55 yards as well.
Yeah, and I think that you feel comfortable with what you did in the first half. take a knee, get in the second, go in at halftime, make some adjustments, and see what the second half have in store.
He's going to make sure that he doesn't lose much yardage as well on the stat sheet. And Brendan Sorsby fired up. It's the first time in 3 years under Scott Satterfield that Cincinnati took the field at home as a ranked team. Ranked for the second week in a row, up from 24 to 21 this week. And they blasted out to a 24-point lead before Baylor got on the board just before halftime.
Yeah, you just find a way to just, you know what, continue to keep working on what's been working for you.
Dave Aranda with Don.
All right, Coach, some momentum offensively, but defensively, what's the biggest thing you point out to your guys in that locker room?
We got to keep fighting. You know, we're going for it on 4th down, and we're not successful. We're putting in some tough spots. But I think we have to be able to stop the run on 1st and 10. It can't be a 7-yard gain. We're now at 2nd and 3. And so I think offense and defense playing complementary football in the second half can help get this deficit turned down a little bit.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
Mike.
Don, thank you. It's a 24-6 halftime lead for the Bearcats on the Bears. Now time for the Michelin halftime report with Trevor Maddich. Here's Zubin Mehenti. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Claude. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. We welcome you back to a sold-out Nippert Stadium for the second half between number 21 Cincinnati and Baylor, with the Bearcats up 24-6 as we welcome you back. Kirk Morrison, Mike Monaco with you, Don Davenport down on the field, and that was another encouraging, convincing half of football from Cincinnati.
Yeah, to me, look, they came in with purpose, and you saw it. They got it going on the ground first, and then defensively making a couple plays, got a turnover in there. So I would be happy if I'm Coach Scott Satterfield with the way my offense played in the first half. Second half, they got to stop what we think is the threat of Baylor. Last week, they were able to put some points on the board in the second half. Can they do it again to tighten this game up?
Cole Wilson runs this one out right around the 20. Take a look at today's Players Spotlight, brought to you by Cintas and QB1 for the Bearcats, Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, he's just been the guy. He's just doing a little bit of everything. Doesn't have the gaudy numbers, but to me, he's just keeping the offense moving, keeping the offense in play. They've had a great rushing attempts great yardage by Walker and Pryor, but it's still the guy who's conducting it all, Brendan Sorsby, just keeping the offense moving.
They built up that 24-point lead. Sawyer Robertson led Baylor on a 75-yard drive, and now they get the football. Begin with Mike Turner off the left side. Don.
Mike, yeah, they built up that lead, but guess what? Cincinnati head coach Scott Satterfield told his team in that locker room, this one's not over yet. Far from it. He said, listen, we have struggled to put points on the board in the third quarters. We've got to keep the hammer down. And this drive, this possession, right here, he pointed out to his team, the most important to get a stop.
Well, Turner, to that end, has a first down, couple of runs. Yeah, Cincinnati has had moments in third quarters where offensively they've been stagnant, and Scott Satterfield trying to keep the foot on the gas.
That's why I say this is a really important drive here. Coming out of half, if you're Baylor offensively, and you mentioned it, back-to-back runs with Michael Turner, who starts this half over Bryson Washington.
Remember, Washington has been banged up. They were hopeful they could get a bigger workload for him today, but it's been about the same as the last 3 weeks. Sawyer Robertson thinking about a deep shot, rifles downfield into coverage and nearly intercepted by Christian Harrison.
That's just a nice job by Christian Harrison. He's running step for step with Cole Wilson, and he realized that ball is going to be thrown deep, but it's a little underthrown, and Harrison just couldn't turn and contort his body all the way back. Got both hands on it, just couldn't corral it.
And you'd like to see that one lofted and farther, right?
Yeah, you had a lot of time back there, Robertson. You would love to see him put that out in front of the speedster Wilson.
Turner off the left side following Omar Ibedion, but not much doing. Jack Dingle in on the stop, and it's third down.
Yeah, third and long. And so now here come the pass rush guys and the cover guys for Cincinnati. You see that scoring margin right there. In the first quarter, plus 87 for Cincinnati, but the second half of games, -1, and on the opposite side, Baylor, -20 here in the third quarter, so they've got to make some points. They're a fourth quarter team, but it's got to be close to get to the fourth quarter.
Pivotal third down for this Bears offense. Michael Trigg, the star tight end, in motion. Screen that way, lowering the shoulder. Jaden Porter is short. Remember, Baylor ultra aggressive on fourth downs, even in their own territory, and the offense stays out.
Yeah, nice job by Jaquan Sanks coming from deep, making a play right there, number 9, holding his hand up. That's a terrific tackle. And here we are, fourth down.
As aggressive as about anyone in the country going for it.
And there's Trigg right there in the slot, tight end.
Ashton Hawkins in motion. Coleman was picked up. Robertson, Trigg hangs onto it, and Trigg's got a first down. John Thompson wrapped him up at the fifth-year senior tight end who went from USC to Ole Miss to Baylor converts.
Yeah, if you're going to talk about offensive prowess, what are they going to do in the second half if you're Baylor? My thought will be, number 1, get the ball to number 1. Okay, Michael Trigg, the tight end, number 1. He's got to be the guy with the football in his hands. He and Josh Cameron, hey, I will go to bat for those guys all day because they are your game wreckers, your game breakers offensively.
3 catches for 30 yards for Trigg, who goes to the sideline. Turner straight ahead. I mean, with Michael Trigg, remember Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator, said to us the other day, if Trigg doesn't have 10 to 15 targets at the end of the game, Jake said, I'm not doing my job correctly.
Yeah, you see that number right there, 525 receiving yards. He's only got 4 targets today. He needs more. But I think it all comes with converting on 3rd down, which they haven't done a great job of today.
Sawyer Robertson, deep shot for Wilson, downfield, and he overcooked it. Sawyer Robertson just has not been in rhythm on the deep ball.
It's just that it's kind of bizarre, right? You have a deep ball earlier and it's underthrown. Then you have another deep ball and he overthrows it or overcooked it, to quote you. This time he's got to find that happy medium when it comes to getting the ball down the field. They're going to put this game on his arm here in the second half. Can he bring his team back? They probably got 4 downs to do it here.
Bearcats showing blitz. Robertson adjusts at the line of scrimmage. Play clock winding down. Turner the run off the left side with a big lead. Got a downfield block from Porter. And Turner takes it all the way into the red zone and more. Michael Turner, the true freshman, picks up 39, the longest play of the day.
Well, watch what he does to Brian Sims, number 17. See how 17, Sims, he sneaks in? Well, if you have no edge, you have no chance to get Michael Turner, who races to the outside and gets up the sideline for the big gain. That's a nice job of selling the inside run, but then bouncing it outside by the true freshman Turner.
Kid who flashed last week was the top recruit in Baylor's freshman class. He was in the ESPN 300. Robertson, end zone, that is caught by Cameron. Flag down, you hear Cameron barking and 1 on the touchdown connection with Robertson.
Penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
You could call it a 50-50 ball. I may go a little more 70-30 ball. Meaning that 70%, he's going to get the catch. I mean, Josh Cameron on the outside, one-on-one. I mean, you've got guys draped all the way on him. You mentioned it. Does he have full possession of that football?
Now, he has possession immediately, but watch the ball move here.
He already maintained possession. That's a touchdown. Once he came down with possession, doesn't matter after that. It's a touchdown. But a nice job of finding your matchup, Sawyer Robertson.
You said how important this drive was for Baylor. They marched down the field, and now again, they'll go for 2. Flag down on the far side. Robertson got away from Golden. Fires on the move, incomplete, intended for Cameron. Matt McDoom in coverage, but we got to check the penalty flag on the far side of the field.
Offside, number 16, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance of the goal. The try will be attempted from the 1.5-yard line.
It's the backup defensive end, Jalen White McLean, the Old Dominion transfer, who doesn't play a whole lot, who was offside.
Yeah, I didn't really see much, but it looks like that helmet's right in the neutral zone. He's up top. If you got that helmet in the neutral zone, that official calls that flag every time.
Now you move it from the 3 to the 1.5. Yet another chance to cut this to a 10-point game. Blocking fullback Kelsey Johnson in there. Robertson, little pop pass, and he sailed it for Matt Kloffenstein. Missed opportunity from Baylor, but they do get the touchdown drive. Back shoulder. Josh Cameron, an expert on those, and 1. Back at Nippert Stadium, number 21 Cincinnati built a 24-0 lead on Baylor. But Baylor scored before halftime. They scored out of halftime as well. It's a very different game now. 12-point margin with the Bearcats in front. This one goes for a touchback. Brendan Sorsby so far has had to wait 50 minutes since his last full drive. He threw a touchdown pass at 5:19 p.m. Eastern time. He had the one snap kneel down right ahead of halftime, and now finally gets to go back to work and get loose.
So how do you get loose? How do you get your quarterback, your offense back in sync? Okay, had an outstanding first half. This is their first drive of the second half. See how Sorsby responds with that long wait time.
What Scott Satterfield said to Don about avoiding lulls. Tawee Walker on the ground with a solid gain on first down.
And now we can look at also Baylor's adjustments at halftime, right? Coach Aranda talked about they've got to stop the run. They can't allow like that first down 6-7 yard gains by Pryor or Walker. Let's see how it starts for them.
Again, Dave Aranda calling this defense. They were gashed early on by Cincinnati, especially on the Bearcats' first two drives of the game. Baylor 118th in the country in scoring defense. Sorsby one-on-one toward Caldwell, incomplete. LeVar Thornton, the long levered corner in coverage. Again, a bigger role without Tevin Williams again today.
Yeah, nice length by LeVar Thornton, showing you that length, meaning that he can play off and still be able to get back to the football. Yeah, he's excited about that one. Trying to get some momentum going, trying to get that sideline going. Big third down here for this Baylor defense, trying to put the Cincinnati offense on the sideline.
Four-man rush, late blitz off the edge. Sorsby floats one to Cyrus Allen along the sideline, and Allen hauls it in. Wow. Working on Jacob Redding to move the sticks.
That ball hung in the air forever. It's just Sorsby believing. Watch the route, just up and then out. That ball's already in the air. That ball's still floating. And then Allen just catches it, gets 2 feet in bounds. That's a first down pickup by Sorsby to Allen.
From midfield, Sorsby, Caldwell cannot make the catch. Thornton in coverage again, and 2 times he's been up to the task here on Jeff Caldwell.
Yeah, that's a nice job. 6'3" goes Thornton, and on the opposite side, Jeff Caldwell, he's 6'5". So here's the length that we talk about. See, able to stay in phase and still get a hand up. I mean, he's falling down to the ground and still able to get that left hand in there and knock the ball away. Tremendous play. Couple of plays so far by Thornton on this drive.
Remember, Dave Aranda said to us this week, we're going to have to win some one-on-ones in the secondary because if we're going to stop the run, we got to load the box. Like this, Walker running past Keaton Thomas for 7. So if you have to deal with Cincinnati's elite ground game, your corners like Thornton are going to be in one-on-ones.
Yeah, you're going to have to go out there and play some man-to-man coverage, and you can't be afraid. You're going to give up plays. I think both sides knew that going in. These are 2 really good quarterbacks. Sawyer Robertson on the Baylor side, and we're watching Brendan Sorsby on this side. You're going to give up yardage, but you got to let those plays go. Get back and have full confidence in yourself.
Across the middle, the catch made by Noah Jennings. Feels like this guy only comes up with huge clutch catches.
Because you got a little bit of everything going on. That's why Noah Jennings is lined up at wide receiver. He's on the left side of the screen. They put the running back Tawee Walker in motion. So all the action is going toward the defense's left, but yet they come back right with the 4th receiver in Jennings.
Walker running into the arms of Jackie Marshall for 2. Marshall, a guy who's been dinged up this year, like we said, with a high ankle sprain. A defense, again, without Tevin Williams, who was a game-time decision. Carl Williams at DB. He's only played 4 snaps all season. Then you've had a season-ending injury to Travion Barnes. Devin Turner, a safety as well, a torn ACL in the spring. And Phoenix Jackson's been banged up. Sorsby on the check down. It's a drop. Out of the backfield, Evan Pryor could not squeeze it, and it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, not only couldn't squeeze it, he was already running with the football. He was already head turned around, ready to make a move. Got to corral the football first, tuck it in. Could have been a big play.
Ball's at the 30-yard line. They've got a kicker in Steven Rusnak, who's been excellent. Good this year from as long as 45, so right at the edge of his field goal range.
Watch this guy right here in the slot. We've seen him work this Cyrus Allen right here in the slot.
Blitz up the A-gap. Sorsby down the sideline for Caldwell and a flag with Caden Jenkins in coverage.
Pass interference, number 8, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that calls on number 8, Caden Jenkins. Just never let him go. Just watch on the outside. See, he's got his hand engaged on that shoulder pad. Just never lets him go. Remember, you get past 5 yards, you got to let the guy go. He's pushing Caldwell all the way out to the sideline. Is at some point, he's like, look, you're restricting the receiver from getting to the football. That restriction, that's a flag. Pass interference.
Second time Cincinnati has drawn pass interference on a 3rd down. 1st and 10 from the 15. Evan Pryor broke away from 1 with a flag down. Pryor bumped out of bounds by Devin Bobby. Got 2 markers down, one at the 10 and one back the 13-yard line.
I think they get the guard, Tayo right here, 77. He was coming around and just got tied up with, I didn't see the defensive number. I thought it was 77 right here at the point of attack. I think it was multiple guys. You're probably right. They're here at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Tayo came as a pulling guard, and it looked like he wrapped up Keaton Thomas.
There are multiple fouls on the play. Holding, number 77, offense. Holding, number 80, offense. Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, number 18, defense. The fouls were offset. Replay first down.
It's rare you see 3 penalties on the same play.
And then they're all offsetting fouls now, right? So 77, he's coming around. Tayo, see, he wraps up the linebacker. And then you get the hands to the face right here by Williford. So after all of that, 3 fouls, and then they all cancel each other out, and we replay the down.
From the 15 again. The Cincinnati offense midway through the 3rd quarter. Fake it to Pryor. Looking for Allen out of the back of the end zone and off the crossbar. 2nd down.
Yeah, but I think we get roughing the passer at the end. Or do they call the hold here? Looked like a late hold, but I saw contact right at the quarterback in the flag.
Personal foul, face mask, number 50, offense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that's the left guard for Cincinnati, Evan Tangesthal, for the face mask.
It was right at the end of the play, too.
Looked like on Imarion Winston, 32 in white. Yep.
Yeah, he got it right there. See, the flag comes out after the throw, so you automatically think it's on the quarterback, but that was also nice defense on the back end by Baylor. They wanted to get the ball, Cincinnati did, to Cyrus Allen right near the end zone. Nice job of double teaming and getting him out of the way.
So the Bearcats backed up to the 30. Pryor, nowhere to go. Keaton Thomas and the Bears swarm him. With the high-energy redshirt junior linebacker Thomas, the leading tackler, in on that stop.
I love this drive for Baylor defensively. I know there's been a couple of penalties, but showing a lot of fight, showing a lot of, look, they made their adjustments. They're trying to stop the run, but they're playing more aggressive, it looks like, to start this 2nd half defensively. A little chippy that's going on so far.
2nd down at 23, and this is the 10th play of the Cincinnati drive. Quarterback run, and Sorsby's dragged down by LeVar Thornton. Short pickup of 3, and it's 3rd down and long.
How about the drive here for LeVar Thornton? He's made a couple of plays in the pass game, and now he comes and wraps up the quarterback near the line of scrimmage, showing off the tackling ability. Talk about a nice drive. It's number 25, LeVar Thornton.
6'3", redshirt sophomore corner from Fort Worth. Ball's at the 25. You feel like you're probably comfortably in the field goal range of Stephen Rusnak. Quick hitter to Tawi Walker on the swing pass. Got away from Thomas. Gets dragged down by Caleb Burns, talented true freshman linebacker. 4th down, and the field goal unit trots out for Cincinnati.
A nice hold there by the Baylor defense. Cincinnati had everything going. Tawi Walker limps off the field on that 3rd down play. But this is definitely something to build on if you're Baylor defensively. Even if they make this, you're still talking about a 2-possession game with yourself getting the football back.
This from 36. You saw how good Rusnak has been these last couple of seasons. Fletcher the holder, and Rusnak stays perfect these last couple of years. Points for the Bearcats, and the lead is 15. Wanted to send our love to the family of Jake Spavital, as his wife Megan has been battling breast cancer over these last 2 seasons. Jake was telling us that Megan has already done her 2 major surgeries. She is going through chemo every 3 weeks, and that's going to carry on into the spring. They found out last year, right around the start of the season, and Jake Spavital was just raving to us about his wife. He said, she is such a fighter. She has gone through these hard times, and there have been times where she's down and out, but every day she is fighting with a great attitude, and she gets better and better.
Yeah, you never know what the coach is kind of going through, and here you are, you're trying to win football games, putting in the time as a coach and want to be there for your players, but most importantly, you got to be there for your family. And knowing Jake Spavital personally, and you see he's wearing that pendant on his sweatshirt, just keeping his family always on his mind and in his heart.
Beautiful touch from Jake Spavital here in October. This one goes to a touchback as we step out, sending our love to Megan and the entire family.
Baylor will begin the drive. First and 10 at the Bears' 25-yard line.
I agree with you, Zubin. 6 wins in a row for Cincinnati, but a Baylor offense that has come to life, Kurt.
Yeah, it's come to life because they've given the football to Trigg and also Cameron. They're big-time players.
Like Turner on the ground. Well, they've done it with very little Bryson Washington. Again, the dinged-up running back who's been dealing with that over the course of the last month. Now, these 4 drives, including this one, just 1 carry for Washington. So it's all out of Mike Turner and then Sawyer Robertson in the pass game.
And you're seeing the true freshman kind of come alive here. Had his most snaps last week against TCU, and he's kind of carried it over now, having to carry the load of all the carries for the running backs.
See, not even the helmet on for Washington. 3-man rush. Sawyer Robertson for Cameron. Good coverage, but a flag comes in with Matt McDoom matched up with Josh Cameron.
Pass interference, number 0 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
To get McDoom, again, he's a matchup nightmare because his ability to find a way to get to the football, ball's underthrown, and McDoom doesn't have his head turned around, so now you not only have your interfering with the wide receiver, not allowing him to get back to the football, but good things happen when you throw the ball to Josh Cameron. I'll keep saying it. Look, I get the ball to 34 as many times as I can.
Again, former walk-on, 5th-year senior now, is having the best season of his career. Him and Trigg have been the top 2 targets, combining for 8 catches. Turner followed Trigg, and Mike Turner on the ground. Jalen Hunt wraps him up. 6th-year senior back this year from a torn meniscus, has been the most consistent defensive lineman for Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's along that rotation. Big number 90, Jalen Hunt, Dante Corleone, 2 guys playing up and down this defensive front. We haven't seen a lot of push early on. Maybe in this second half, maybe they can increase the pressure as Sawyer's starting to get very comfortable for Baylor offensively.
Robertson through his progression. He will take the check down. Turner lowers the shoulder on Matt McDoom. 3-yard pickup, 3rd down and medium coming up.
Yeah, I would also say Sawyer Robertson has a little more pep in his step, right? Number 13. He's playing with a little more tempo, a little more confidence, it seems, in this second half.
From the 48, you've been banging the drum for Cameron and Trigg. Cameron, 34 in white, bottom of your screen. Trigg is slot left. It's a give instead to Turner. Jack Dingle comes in on the stop, and that's about 1.5 yards short.
Yeah, but you know they're going for it on 4th down. So you're trying to maybe pop one on that 3rd down play. But you see Coach Spavital already, he's already dialing up his 4th down call. Just wanted to see what the defense there, but he's wanted to keep the defense and their alignment, their personnel, kept them on the field, did not substitute. So maybe running that play to keep the defensive personnel on the field. And now you've got your 2 best players at the bottom of the screen. You got Trigg here, Cameron here.
Robertson looks that way. Not there. Robertson uses his legs to pick up a 1st down.
Nice job by Robertson. He wanted to go to Trigg underneath on a little return route. They covered it up. Number 1, he's right in the middle. He's looking, it's not there, and then now you become a running back. Tuck the ball away, protect it. Nice job of getting down. Didn't take the big hit, got enough for the 1st down.
And hasn't run it a ton this year, but did have moments last year when he ran it well against Colorado and Oklahoma State. Hawkins on the outside, runs physically and gets popped by Arnold. 2nd down coming up. You said it, more of a pep in the step from Sawyer Robertson, trying to bounce back from last week. Ball inside the 40 for the Baylor offense. Caden Knighton, another true freshman with some explosiveness, and he's got a 1st down. I love Sims on the stop.
I love how they have not abandoned the running game, though. Whether it's Turner, whether it's Knight, you mentioned it, they've got full confidence in these 2 true freshman running backs. It's a crucial point in the game. third quarter winding down, and they're still running the football and getting yards.
The offense operating with some urgency as well. Quick hitter in the tight end. Matt Klopfenstein could not make the catch. A guy with only 3 grabs this year. He was the guy that Robertson was trying to go through on the 2-point play.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much on it. Got to have a little bit of touch. That time he threw a nice spiral, and he really didn't lead Klopfenstein up the field. Threw it behind him. Those are the kind of throws that you throw toward the middle, but you lead the tight end. Allow him to run and catch it rather than try to put it on him.
Mike Turner checks back into the game for Caden Knighton.
Second down, I take a shot down the field. Right here to Cameron with one-on-one.
Instead, they run it, and Turner is bottled up. Harrison comes in to finish the hit after 3, and now it's third down as we hit the final minute of the third.
Now, substituting was Baylor, and now Cincinnati's able to substitute, so they've got their cover guys in. And remember, they're playing with 4 downs, right? It's not just a third down and they go for a field goal. This is still 4-down territory, right where this ball is placed at.
10th play of the drive, and it's a run with Turner, and Turner crashes inside the 25. He's a yard short, so it's 4th down and 1. Final 20 seconds of this third, and they don't need to snap it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just don't even look to the sideline. That run call tells me they're taking this to the 4th quarter with a big 4th down play upcoming for both sides.
Sawyer Robertson and Baylor have shown signs of life. Late first half and then through this third quarter as well. They hold Cincinnati to 3 points in the third quarter, and they face a massive 4th down when we come back for the 4th. fourth quarter starts at Nippert Stadium with a big 4th down and 1 for Baylor.
Keep the ball in Robertson's hands, the quarterback.
He pulls it from Turner, and Robertson's got a 1st down. Well, they do it that way with his legs, keeping it in his hands.
Got to keep it in his hands, right? You don't want a lot of the, handling of the ball. No, just let the quarterback fake and then go get the yardage needed for the 1st down. That's a tremendous job by Sawyer Robertson.
And now Mike Turner, guy who's been stepping in as the top running back right now for Baylor, slow to get up. Again, he was the top recruit in their class, part of the ESPN 300. He really flashed last week, and he jogs off.
Yeah, I just think he got the wind knocked out of him. Just a great fake by Robertson. He faked it to Turner, and Turner actually took a shot. He was tackled. And he was like, well, I don't even have the football, because Robertson pulled it and ran for the 1st down.
So Caden Knighton checks in as Baylor enters the red zone. They've converted 4 times on 4th downs in this game. Robertson looking end zone, and Cameron draws another flag. Or Monty Arnold had the coverage.
Pass interference, number 8, defense. The foul occurred in the end zone, it's a 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, this is one I think Arnold could have just, if he hadn't kept his hands off, I don't know if this ball's even catchable. See, late in the down, right now, he doesn't put his hands on him. That ball's uncatchable, it's out of bounds. But it's that little grab. Watch both hands wrap around. That's where the call came in for the pass interference. If Arnold doesn't panic or put arms around, that's a no call. Ball sails out of bounds. So that time, just being in play or being in phase, just keep the hands off.
Part of Tyson Veit's defense, now backed up to the 2-yard line. If you're just joining us, Cincinnati once led this game 24-0.
Got to watch direct snap down here by the quarterback, wait straight to the running back.
Handoff Knighton. He gets stood up, and progress is stopped right around the line of scrimmage. Yeah, that's something we've seen from Baylor. They did it twice last week when they were in the red zone, brought in 2 tight ends. They lined up the quarterback over the guard and snapped it to the running back.
Yeah, and usually it was Michael Turner in the game when it happened. And so now Turner enters the game. He subs back in. Good to see him back in the football game. But we all know this is 3 downs to work with for Jake Spavital, offensive coordinator, so they can play around with a couple of calls here. What they want to do.
Wilson in motion. Robertson scans, takes off with a cut, reaching out. It's a touchdown. Sawyer Robertson has come to life for Baylor.
Yeah, I don't know if he got this one. They signaled touchdown. See, we got this angle. Oh, the perfect camera angle right here. Now watch the football as Robertson gets near. The hit by Jalen Hunt, number 90. That ball just gets over the goal line. All it has to do is touch that white line. Nice job there. And the extension by Robertson, that is a touchdown. I don't know if he got it at first, but man, what an effort by Sawyer Robertson. Just extending that football. All he has to do is touch that goal line, the front edge of the goal line. That's a touchdown.
And what an effort from Sawyer Robertson. Again, bouncing back from last week. Jake Spavital said to us that Robertson was wearing it hard this week, wanted to have a response, and now Baylor again goes for 2. Play clock is winding down on the Bears. Snap it, roll it. Robertson on the move. He's got Turner, but it's incomplete, but a flag in the back of the end zone. Arnold again had coverage on Josh Cameron.
Pass interference, number 8, defense. Half the distance to the goal, replay the try.
Yeah, it was Josh Cameron. He was trying to find a way to get open. Arnold just pushes him out of bounds, 25. See, it's like early in that down. Cameron's just trying to uncover, and Arnold just pushes him out of bounds, which I understand. You're trying to get, once he steps out of bounds, he can't be the first to touch it. I get it. Or in the back of the end zone. But when the ball is still in play, you can't do that.
What's the play called now? You just need 1.5 yards.
I think it's a similar thing. What have we seen in short yardage? Sawyer Robertson keeping the football.
2 tight ends to block. Robertson runs. He gets wrapped up and brought down, but a flag. Looked like a face mask on Dante Corleone.
Yeah, that's who it was, number 2. Face. He got his full hand in that face mask. Watch in the middle of your screen, comes from the right. Corleone just grabs that face mask and takes the helmet off of Sawyer Robertson.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal. The try will be attempted inside the 1-yard line.
The Godfather. Look how he massacred that boy. So now we go inside the 1.
So we've seen this play now down here inside the 10-yard line a couple times with the quarterback keeper. Now you bring in the extra tight end and Kelsey Johnson, number 12. You give it back to your quarterback.
They run it with Turner with a leap, and Turner is in for 2. It's a 1-score game. What a march from Baylor to get back into this game.
ESPN College Football is presented by Claude, the AI for problem solvers.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by Claude. Let's check out the college football headlines presented by Twisted Tea. Indiana rolled. Haynes King and Georgia Tech having a heck of a season. And unfortunate injury news for Missouri quarterback Bo Perbula.
Yeah, carted off. And we had a chance to see Missouri a little bit earlier. A good football team, but if Perbula's not out there, definitely tough sledding for that team. But Georgia Tech just Ramblin' Wreck, they keep going. They keep going.
Here at Cincinnati, the Bearcats lead is down to 7. Matt McDoon lets this one go for a touchback. Pre-game, we had Gavin Gerhardt, the Bearcats center, mic'd up All Access.
Why are you not mic'd up? Why am I mic'd up?
I don't know why they want to mic up the center, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
You gotta love every day, but Saturdays especially. We play together. We play for Jeremiah, and we dominate the. Yeah! Defending it by 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go, baby.
Sixth-year senior committed to Cincinnati as a high school sophomore. 3-time captain with a new face mask this week as well.
He's got that big nose bar right there in the middle. You see a center with that face mask, he means business.
Evan Pryor begins at running back and gets the call behind Gerd and that offensive line, and he stumbles down past the 30 dot.
Yeah, Scott Satterfield called Gavin the best leader he has ever been around, guys. I talked to his O-line coach, Nick Carwell, told me they're going to miss him next year for sure. But he has set such a culture in how this group practices, communicates, does everything. He will have impacted this program long after he's gone. We were in the facilities yesterday. We saw him gather up the O-line, all take their shirts off, run together to the sauna. I mean, they do everything together, and Gavin is that leader.
Snaps it in the pistol for Sorsby on a give for Pryor with a flag down. Pryor's right at the line to gain. Looks to have enough for a first down, but we've got to check the marker.
Holding, number 53, offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Does that qualify as an announcer jinx?
I think so. I mean, he's been playing such a great game, and then we get 53 right in the middle, the center. Gavin Gerhardt, we just talked about it, got that hand inside. It's tucked there right on Cooper Lance, and that's a hole.
This guy's meant so much to this group, and congratulations to him and his fiance Macy, by the way. They got engaged after the game a couple of weeks ago. Bearcats by 7. Big spot in this game, early fourth quarter. Baylor has generated momentum. Marshall chasing Sorsby, who takes off, sidesteps out of bounds, right around the 26-yard line.
So let's set up this third down here, right? Because we haven't seen much of this offense in sync in the second half, right? They scored 24 points in the first half, what, only 3 in this second half? So this is an opportunity right here to keep the chains moving. I don't want to give the ball back to Baylor offensively. They've been humming. This is a big third down right here for the Baylor defense to get off the field.
For Cincinnati's offense, only their third and long today. 0 for 2 so far. Sorsby with time. He zips one. He's got it complete to Noah Jennings. Jennings marked down on the catch at the 39, but he continues to come up with big plays.
But I love the route by Jennings. Just watch how he finds the zone. So he's looking, he sees the zone, he stops. He finds the open spot in the zone, shows those hands, and Sorsby hits him for the first down. Nice job by Jennings.
Yes, barely down. And now we've got a timeout taken by Baylor.
Baylor takes their first charge timeout of the half.
They were trying to get their personnel in and off of the field. Big conversion for Cincinnati with Dave Aranda's team marching back into a 1-score game.
Introducing SportsCenter for you, personalized every single day. Now available on the ESPN app. Powered by your favorites.
There's the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy this year? Tarps off at the NIP. Big game, fourth quarter, and it's a 7-point Bearcats lead on the Bears. Mike Monaco, Kirk Morrison, Don Davenport with you. Baylor was down 24 in this game. No FBS team has come back and won from 24 down this season. On the ground with Evan Pryor, following Joe Royer. Slipped to tackle past midfield. Keaton Thomas brought him down after a dozen.
Pryor's limping off. Look, he got rolled up on by Keaton Thomas, 11. What an explosive run there by Pryor. First down run that gets you to midfield.
So Tawi Walker comes back in. The previous drive, when Cincinnati was out there defensively, Walker spent all of it, Don told us, in the injury tent with some sort of lower body injury, and now Pryor's banged up. Give it to Walker straight ahead. Devin Bobby on the stop, 4-yard pickup. And second down on the way.
Yeah, I love this drive, though. It seems like this is one of those drives offensively for Cincinnati that they want to kind of wear you down a little bit. Keeping the offense of Baylor on the sideline, but rushing the football, converting on third downs, and getting 7. You get 7 here, you feel like you're a little more comfortable the way the rest of this game is going to go, because defensively you have not been able to stop Baylor in the second half.
If you're just joining us, Cincinnati has won 6 games in a row. They're one of 2 unbeaten teams in conference play in the Big 12. The other, BYU, is up 14 on Iowa State. Isaiah Johnson with a cut. Shifty transfer from Western Carolina. Has enough for a first down with DJ Coleman making the stop after 9.
And that's the second carry for Isaiah Johnson today. They've kind of got something with this play. A little end around. A guy who doesn't have a ton of receptions, but you want to get the ball in his hands. And you see the explosiveness that he brings to this offense. That's 2 carries for Johnson. Came in today with 0 carries. So new plays added in, new wrinkles for Sorsby in the offense.
We hit 10 minutes to go in the fourth. Still 12 personnel, so still a run. Tawi Walker straight ahead. Matthew Fobbs-White makes the stop, the 2-lane transfer.
I can tell you defensively, if I'm Baylor, and the way that this drive is going, you're kind of looking around defensively, hands on hips, because they're not putting the ball in the air. I mean, they're just running the football. This drive has been run. Now, they did convert to Noah Jennings on that 3rd and long. But right now, we got to stop the run. If you're Baylor, we got to bow our necks, because they just want to run and let this clock bleed.
And Cincinnati entered today with a 31% chance to get to the conference championship game. A pass, but it's a short one. Tawi Walker gets knocked down at the 31. Just a few yards. Jeremy Evans in on the stop.
Yeah, that's just an outside zone run. It looks like he's mentioned, it says pass, it is a pass, but honestly, it's a high percentage throw to the outside, just trying to get Tawi Walker out in the open field.
Ball's at the 31. That's right around the edge of field goal range for Steven Rusnak, who's been awesome. 3rd down and 5.
And we have not called this guy in a long time, the tight end, Joe Royer. Number 11 just went in motion. We haven't called his name in a while.
Another run. Walker broke a tackle, churning the legs, and they spot him a yard short. 4th down and 1. Ball at the 27. You would expect the offense to stay on the field.
Well, we haven't called Joe Royer's name, but a tremendous block there on 3rd down to get that gain to where it's at 4th and 1. And now you're trying to get your best call. What's your best call offensively? I think on the opposite side, we saw Robertson keep the ball. I would say the same thing. I love Tawi Walker, though. Number 3, he's in the dot position. He's right behind the quarterback in the pistol. Hand it off to number 3.
It is Walker, straight ahead. Walker got stacked up. Does he have enough? The initial spot says yes, and it looks like Walker maintained his footing enough for a first down.
Yeah, just a good push. The left side of the offensive line able to cave things down, and the initial hit, I thought he would have been short, but he kept the legs moving. A tremendous job by Walker.
So is he down initially? Is that left knee down?
Yeah,
looks like he just stayed atop the Baylor defender.
Yeah, he did. He stayed, and then remember the hand goes down. Not the forearm, not the elbow. The hand keeps him off the ground. That's a first down.
Tutas Salam trying to get things cleared up with his crew here. Play clock was winding down on Cincinnati. Baylor left the field thinking it was a timeout taken by Cincinnati.
Or did they think there was going to be a review?
One of the two.
He said, I got it, I got it. That's weird, right?
Yeah, that's
strange sequence.
Procedure.
Yeah, it's a very strange sequence.
So in any event, first down and 10, no review, ball at the 25 for Cincinnati. A give on the ground, and this is Chance Williams, only his 6th carry of the season. Remember, Evan Pryor banged up on this drive. Williams has not had any work since the first 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah, so you're all the way down on that chart. 5'7", 190 goes Chance Williams. You know, Manny Covey was also a back we've seen run the football for Cincinnati offensively.
So you're up by 7. You are well within field goal range. That would be enough to make it a 2-score game. And the clock ticking towards 6 minutes to go on Baylor. Sorsby the keep with a cut. Broken ankles. See ya. Ran right by Micah Gifford.
Number 24 is going to come right here. He's there. Micah Gifford, he's there in the hole. And not the lazy. Oh, the dead leg. The dead leg by Sorsby. The fake as if he's going outside, cuts back inside. And Gifford just tackles air and stunting into the end zone is Sorsby. Wow.
Brendan Sorsby told us the other day, I was a running back growing up. Why? Well, we didn't throw the ball in 5th or 6th grade. I wanted to be running, and he wanted it in his hands right here.
I was running into the end zone with the stanky leg. Brendan Sorsby, touchdown Bearcats.
Coming up, bottom of the hour, 7:30 Eastern time over on ABC and the ESPN app. Number 20 LSU hosts number 3 Texas A&M, led by Marcel Reed in Death Valley. Yeah, they love Brendan Scoresby here at Cincinnati. Heisman hopeful, another lengthy drive, and it chewed up nearly 7.5 minutes, their longest drive this season. Cole Wilson, the speedy wideout, dropped the football. And who fell on it? Jaquan Sanks is in there for Cincinnati, but did Baylor get it first? It's Cincinnati football.
Oh, that ball pops up and it's just trying to find it. Sanks is at the bottom of that pile, wrestles it away. How to get the defender.
That's 10 Taden Barnes, the backup DB.
Yeah, the backup corner, right? Or strong safety finding a way on special teams. That's helmet, or what we say, hat on ball. And then you get the recovery. That's one thing that Baylor talked about. They couldn't turn the ball over like they did last week versus TCU. And this is a special teams turnover that's now set up Scoresby in the Cincinnati offense in the red zone.
And the lingering hope perhaps evaporates for Baylor right there. Tawee Walker. Man, he just has defenders bouncing right off of him. That is ridiculous. Devin Bobby gets trampoline right back off.
It's just, like I said, you got to make business decisions when trying to tackle Tawee Walker. I mean, the guy just runs downhill, and if you don't bring everything that you've got, he's going to put you flat on your back. We've seen countless defenders today.
Guys, Tawee Walker, 2 years of no football after high school, was working in a Fanatics factory in Vegas, packing orders and labeling boxes, decided to make a comeback, save money for a year to support himself, and went the JUCO route initially. After the JUCO route, had some FCS offers as he fights here, but decided to bet on himself, walked on at Oklahoma instead, then moved on to Wisconsin, was getting ready for the NFL draft. On his way to a workout when he got the call that he had another year of eligibility, and here he is, hit the portal. He said since he reached out on his visit, the strength coach Nico showed him a detailed workout plan highlighting where he needed to be better for the NFL, and he said he was all in. He said, maybe I shouldn't have bet on myself on some of those moments, probably should have taken a lesser scholarship, but here he is now, and it's all paying off.
And he's got guys making highlight reels for him. 3rd down and 1. Scoresby sidearms touchdown. The dagger to Isaiah Johnson.
You know, Mike, talking to Scoresby last week, he told us he's got a little bit of a baseball background. Well, you want to turn 2 at second base? That's how you do it right there. I know the World Series is going on. Dodgers are down 1-0. Blue Jays are up. But if you need a second baseman, maybe Scoresby can go in. That's how you turn 2. Going to his right, throws that thing sidearm in for a touchdown. Brendan Scoresby, man, he's really come alive in this 4th quarter. Tensious moments in this game, and just watch this arm angle. Watch the arm angle. That's how you turn 2. That's how you turn 2. This time, turning 2 for a touchdown.
All right, I want to ask you this about Brendan Scoresby. I mean, we talked to Scott Satterfield last year, and Scott at that time said to us, Scoresby is going to play on Sundays.
Correct.
That has now become this year a way more popular opinion. Matt Miller gave him a late-round draft grade. We've heard from some scouts who are interested in him, like end of the 1st round right now, maybe. Where do you think Brendan Scoresby fits in your eyes?
Wow, I think about last year, we had this conversation earlier in the season about Cam Ward, who was sort of a middle-round quarterback. And we saw Cam Ward take his game to another level as the season went on, became the #1 overall pick. I'm not saying that Sorsby is in the line for the #1 overall pick, but I think that each week you watch his play and you see the accuracy, you see the feet, the technique, the fundamentals, and he's just played a lot of football that, to me, I think he's elevated his draft stock, not in a late round guy, maybe a first day guy.
Kickoff here is handled on the hop by Cole Wilson. And Wilson hangs on to this one, flipped out of bounds, and that's going to be a late flag, and now Wilson gets into it. It's Tatum Barnes who forced the fumble last time. Barnes with a late hit, and then John with Cole Wilson, and this could get dicey. The officials right in the middle of it, separating these teams along the Bearcats sideline.
It's a nice job by the officials. We've seen the officials, the NFL, now college, getting in the middle of this, right in the fracas and pushing guys, getting guys out. Nice job by the officials cleaning that up.
Completely unnecessary hit from Tatum Barnes.
Just got to let him go. Barnes is holding him, and you don't need to suplex. That's WWE. It's not WWE. It's college football here.
Redshirt sophomore safety who backs up in the secondary, transfer from New Mexico State.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 10, Cincinnati. It's a 15-yard penalty added to the end of the kickoff return. First down, Baylor.
Check in with Zubin Mehenti in the studio. Fellas, thank you. That is a South Carolina team 1-4 in the SEC and has dropped 4 of its last 5. Only scored 7 points last week.
Alabama just finding a way, right? Sometimes it's not going to be pretty, but it's got to fight to the end. And right now, setting up for a field goal to win this game late.
Baylor has 4:19 to work with, and they are down by 3 touchdowns. Keep it on the ground here at the start of this drive. 4-yard pickup straight ahead. That is 43. That might be Caden Knighton. He was wearing that jersey on special teams earlier today. That'd been 22. Second down and 6. Sawyer Robertson's wrapped up. The pocket collapsed, and Marquez Parker gets home with Micah Coleman.
Yeah, that's a nice little combination sack there. You mentioned it, Coleman. He's coming on the opposite side. They just meet at the quarterback. It's a nice job and a nice rush. They're getting up the field, and Parker and Coleman combine for the sack.
So 3rd down and long now for Baylor. Four-man rush. Robertson, the check down to Mike Turner. And Mike Turner only gets a few yards. Christian Harrison ushers him out, and it's 4th down and 10.
Yeah, Michael Trigg, the tight end, he was wide open up top. You can sense the frustration. He wants the football, hasn't got it a lot in this second half. A lot of Josh Cameron, but number 1, Michael Trigg, is calling for the ball in this situation, trying to get his team back into it.
Might be their most talented guy, and he's only had 4 targets. They wanted to get him 10 to 15. Gotta have it for Baylor. Robertson, Trigg, the drop, and it's a turnover on downs. Trey Gola-Collard and Jake Golday swarmed, and Cincinnati about to finish this thing off.
You can see the frustration there. That's Trigg's been calling for the football and finally gets the ball in his hands and just couldn't hold on to it.
He had frustration littered on his face at the end of last week's game as well, and that's the state of the union right now for Baylor. I mean, coaches came in talking to us how they were at a reckoning point in their season. Jake Spavital described it as soul-searching. He initiated Michael Trigg and Sawyer Robertson to lead a players-only meeting on offense. Dave Aranda told us it's a frustrated team. Matt Powledge said the guys know the clock is ticking, a season that started with such high expectations.
Man, you could just see the frustration, the emotion coming out of Trigg there. That's the expectations of what this season was really all about. And now to look like they're going to drop their third game in the Big 12. What was like dark horse Big 12 championship team just won't happen.
Chance Williams on the ground. And the timeout taken here by Baylor.
I mean, we knew coming in it was going to be the battle of the quarterbacks. I thought it would be tight end Trigg versus Royer, but it's really been the quarterbacks in the running game combined. Watching Sorsby and all the backs for Cincinnati has really been the story.
As Cincinnati keeping pace right at the top of things. At the start of the season, that was the preseason poll, and try to lock in on the black and red Cincinnati logo. So our ESPN Power Rankings had them at 11th in the preseason, and they've just steadily kept climbing under Scott Satterfield.
That's a great stock right there. That stock is rising, and maybe a lot of people are putting stock into Cincinnati now, saying that this is a really good football team. Year 3 under Scott Satterfield, that arrow is pointing up. Bowl eligibility was last week. They've already moved past that, now moving with their eyes, like we saw, on Dallas. That's their thought process. That's what they're talking in that locker room. Bigger things ahead.
Tawee Walker bounces it and got a lane on a good block from his tight end, Devin Zaharsky. Stayed inbounds as well, and a first down. Well, you said it. They've got their goals up on a big board in their facility. They've got 4 of them. And number 4 is just Dallas.
What's Dallas?
Get to the Big 12 championship game in early December.
Side of Jerry's world. That's where they want to go.
They're trying to get to 5-0 in the Big 12 at the end of October. Back after this.
Cunningham. Awesome facility. What has this done for football, and what will it continue to do?
Well, it's a beautiful facility, obviously, top of the line in everything that we do. It helps us compete for championships, which is exactly what we want to do. It's not just one of the best in the Big 12. It's one of the best in the country.
3 levels, 96,000 square feet, packed full of the latest technology and recovery facilities, cryo to saunas to hydrotherapy pools, light recovery beds. Players I talked to told me it has been a game changer, guys.
Sure has. Thanks to AD John Cunningham, CFO John Daniel as well for the tour. We're going to get a timeout here. And, look at this, Kirk. What do we got?
I was going to say, hey, these Cincinnati players are not the only ones enjoying the immensity.
Yo, red light was sick.
The red light was, see, that's Mike Monaco in the red light. I almost fell asleep on the recliner. Those recliners in the players' lounge.
I was trying to get one on the sideline for the second half of this game here.
Yeah, man.
Some Nordic Tech boots.
Love the hospitality here in Cincinnati. They have been great hosts for us this weekend, and you're just not surprised walking through that facility around the city. There's a buzz about Cincinnati football, and a lot of it has to do with how they're playing, but more importantly, I think their quarterback has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, our thanks to everyone here. Cincinnati, man, they are right in the thick of it in the Big 12. And now the schedule's tough down the stretch as well. They don't play Texas Tech. They do play BYU, who again went to Ames today and shook off an early deficit against Matt Campbell's team. They're going to play BYU here at home the second to last week of the regular season.
Oh, it's going to be a big game, always. Again, like my high school coach would always say, when you win one at this point in the season, every game's bigger the following week.
Tommy Walker for 2. All right, so from what you have seen, where does Cincinnati fit with them? Who is the best in the Big 12?
Wow. I would have to say BYU. We had a chance to see them a couple weeks back over at Arizona. Love what Bear Bachmeier is doing. That defense, Kalani Sitake's team. To me, I think they're the best team. Texas Tech rebounded. I just think it's going to come down to the wire like it did last year, right? Arizona State's still that dark horse team. We saw them overcome it last year. So we'll see. Do we have another one of those tiebreakers again, right? That's what it's probably going to come down to, I feel like.
3rd down and 3. We hit the final minute. Chance Williams, 1st down to finish it. Man, what a job by Scott Satterfield as well. I mean, he was at Louisville for 4 years. It's not like it went badly at Louisville. He's in year 3 here. And doesn't it just feel like this fit at Cincinnati is perfect, a lot better for him?
Yeah, I think it's a lot better for him. And being here and seeing your team like come together, right? This team, remember last year, they were 5-2 and lost 5 in a row and didn't go bowling. So to be bowl eligible last week and still have their goals in sight, the trajectory of Cincinnati and Scott Satterfield, that arrow is still pointing up.
Convincing from Cincinnati. 7 straight wins now for the Bearcats since week 1 at Arrowhead against Nebraska.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the seconds tick down, the final score, Cincinnati 41.
A discouraging loss for Baylor, who drops to 4-4, 2-3 in the Big 12. But the story tonight, the Bearcats, explosive again offensively, and man, they are rolling right now.
You continue to keep winning, and now the games are going to be bigger. The stage is going to be brighter. So now you put yourself in the upper echelon of the Big 12. Now people are talking about you. Like, that Cincinnati team's pretty good. And the first name's going to come out of their mouth is a quarterback, number 2, Brendan Sorsby.
Brendan Sorsby is with Don.
I was going to say, first name that's going to come out of their mouths, this guy right here, 364 total yards, 41 points, another offensive performance. You guys keep telling us, hey, listen, we've got a lot to prove still as a team. What do you feel like you guys proved and showed tonight?
You know, we showed up and we got another big one. The stakes just keep getting bigger each week. We're excited for the next one. We'll enjoy this one tonight and then, you know, back to work tomorrow.
I know your running backs had quite a day. What have you seen from those guys in that unit, what they gave you tonight?
You know, they work extremely hard every day. They come into practice. I probably had a questionable pull last week on the goal line. Took a touchdown away from our running backs, but, you know, they got it back this week. really proud of those guys. They battled tonight.
And we talk about complementary football. You know, your defense goes up against one of the other top quarterbacks in the Big 12 and holds them to 20 points. What did you see from that unit this week in preps?
You know, they got turnovers. We've been talking about it, everybody all week, saying it's going to be a shootout. Our defense took that personally. They showed up tonight, made some big-time plays, got some big-time stops. Props to Baylor. They have a great offense, great team. It's a big one for us tonight, though.
I know how much you like to shout out your offensive line, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to shout out those guys up front.
Yeah, shout out those guys up front. They took care of business tonight. On to the next. Those guys won't let us celebrate too long, but they'll enjoy tonight for sure.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Don, thank you. Brendan Sorsby, Scott Satterfield, and the Bearcats do it again. 7 in a row. They will go to Utah next week. Utah playing late tonight over on ESPN at home against Colorado.
It's a good football team. Good football team, these Bearcats. See what next week brings them at Utah.
Baylor made it interesting, but Brendan Sorsby and Cincinnati author another big win. That wraps things up for Kirk Morrison, Don Davenport, and our entire excellent crew behind the scenes, led by producer Caitlin Urka and director Ed Curran. I'm Mike Monaco saying thanks for watching, and so long from Nippert Stadium. Now let's get you back to the studio with Zubin Mehenti and Trevor Matich.